All right. Welcome back, good people. We're back at it again. True Army Leon podcast. Today, we're double hosting, tag teaming it. I lead in with me being Coach D. Education is my superpower.
Yo, it's Real Estate Steve. We here, we ready, we charged up today. So we got some good topics for y'all today. We got some excellent topics. We got some excellent guests today. So lean back, relax, catch the vibe.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get our guys introduced real quick so we can jump into today's topic. So over to my left, you all's right, or whichever way. Go ahead.
Chris Abney, aka Suave, where I go by Suave Soul, and excited to talk about this. I think this is an important topic this time in our culture.
What's happening? What's happening? My name is Kamo Terra, serial social entrepreneur, Afro-futuristic journalist, and this is a topic I have conversations about across the spectrum. Age range is, light skin, dark skin, all of it. I love it.
Dope. You said Afro futuristic journalist,
Generalist.
generalist.
Yeah,
Expand on that real
Yeah, I've
quick.
never
That's
heard of that.
interesting. Yeah, me either. Let's talk about that.
absolutely. So that's basically, a term that, I came up with. We always determine for ourselves as part of, Kwanzaa, the seven principles of the Nguzo Saba. So in that, I believe that we define ourselves and make it clear and we speak and be impeccable with our words for agreement. So Afrofuturistic journalist is basically, someone who is thinking about the broad scope of everything it means to be African in a projected capacity. So looking forward, we have plenty of historians who've done great work and studied, us in the past, but very few are really talking about our future
Mm.
in our community. But there's groups who are saying, by 2053, our net worth will be $0. And, I challenge people with the thought of like, what does that mean in a capitalistic society when net worth is everything? How can a group of people have a $0 net worth and still exist in that society?
Mm.
I don't see how. So they're basically saying in 30 years now, 29 years, we're basically out of this system somehow. They're not saying how, but they're telling us, y'all got about 3 decades, man. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
how's somebody else projecting our future? But we not thinking about that. They tell us what we're going to be in 30 years. Like, we have no say so. We can't intercept that process. It's just what it is. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's deep. That sounds like a podcast in itself.
Yeah,
We
it
might have to
does,
touch on.
man. Mainly because of the usage of the dollar bill.
Absolutely.
Yes, I heard a gentleman speak about that and kind of blew me away.
Absolutely.
He stated some really good facts as well. But today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into toxic versus healthy masculinity. Toxic versus healthy masculinity. I'll just kind of whip it right back around. But when you hear that, what does it sound like to you? What comes to mind?
Um, the fact that toxic masculinity has been, just worn out and a term to just discredit or, you know, disguise of this interest in what it means to be a black man in America. Nobody really is thinking about the struggles. They just see us as full grown adults. Nobody considers the challenges, so they just drop toxic masculinity to disregard you. Like Dave Chappelle was saying a while back when, he was like, they called him crazy. And he's like, that's so dismissive to not try to understand why somebody would turn down so many millions of dollars. Like, surely there has to be a reason. I'm clearly not a drug addict. I haven't lost my mind. So, like, nobody questioned, like, why would somebody really turn down that much money? But they just dismiss me as crazy. So it's the same as toxic masculine. Like, why is this man like that? It's not right to do any of the things that we know toxic men do. But it's like, at what point do we really step back and say, in his inner child wounded too? Like, so how do we deal with that? Or do we just say he's an adult? Fuck all that. He's gonna deal with whatever comes to him, and nobody's there to help him. He gotta carry on his own.
All right.
Okay, so far as when we talk about toxic masculinity, I want to get a clear definition because I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was a guy who did a study and they said the term came from he was doing a study on male inmates in prison. And I think one of them stepped on someone's shoe or did something and they retaliated. And they said that was where the phrase toxic masculinity came from. So is it a such thing as toxic masculinity or just bad character traits? Because masculinity in itself is a positive thing, just like femininity. So when we talk about toxic masculinity, is that a such thing, or is it just this is bad character traits in that person? Masculinity is positive. That's like masculinity is like leading, protecting, be an example, stuff like that. But when you say toxic masculinity, I mean that's just somebody with bad character traits, right? Like, would y'all agree, or what do y'all think?
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, 100%. When you think of the term masculinity, it's something that refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in a given society. But when you switch and you look at it from the toxic masculinity role, toxic masculinity refers to the notion that some people's ideal of manliness can perpetuate domination, homophobia, and aggression. So, like you said, the example that they used, stepped on a shoe, and then now
disrespected somebody.
We're equating that to, oh, you disrespected me.
Yeah, and I see the thing now when they say some people's definition is like anything can be labeled toxic masculinity in this day and era. You pro heterosexual just because you're not for something, like you said, homophobia. Come on, man. Like everything can't be toxic masculinity just because you deem it to be so, just because of your personal feelings. But I feel like that's where we're at in today's culture and society. If you ain't down with what we down with, it's toxic. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not.
It's a dismissive, like, there's no account for black men to be black men.
Yeah.
Like, what does that really mean for us? Because we have had our identity stripped. My black sisters know, like, if we ain't right, nobody in the black culture is right. If we're in fact leading to that effect. So, like, what is it in us if we have this double consciousness that is positive? Like you said, and then a sister told me that she researched, this is maybe 3 or 4 years ago, she did a Google, search on toxic masculinity, and of course, millions of results came back. She did the same search for toxic femininity, and I think she said at the time, like 3 pages came back on Google in like 2020. This was during the pandemic when everything was shut down. She just has a spare time. Like, you know what? Is toxic femininity a thing? And she searched it, but it was almost no search result.
Jada Pinkett.
Right. So, like, it's just been ran with. And I'm like, there's no account of what is toxic femininity. Is it such a thing?
Exactly.
Can we have that discussion? And is it just people who, like you said, have bad character traits regardless of gender, cultural background, whatever?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I agree.
So would this be a root cause in relationships possible? When we talk about toxic masculinity, would that be more of a root cause to some of the issues that we as men experience? Men that have that character trait, or is it just, based off maybe the culture which you was raised in?
I think the culture which you was raised in has something to do with how you view masculinity, or how you project it. I take, for example, and y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna get a little personal my experience, but with my kid's mom, I have a younger son. He's 3 now, right? So when we go to the store, I kind of direct him more towards boy toys and boy colors, just because in this society, I don't need anything pushed further than what it's already pushing. I want to raise my son a certain way. So with me just pushing just masculine stuff like, hey, Iron Man, Batman, masculine action figures or sports or competitive nature, trying to instill that in him. To me, that's positive masculinity, because I just want to instill in him just those characteristics and those traits that's just going to make him competitive and achieve what he wants to achieve when he grows up. So to me, that's positive masculinity, but someone else can look at it as if I'm misogynist.
Right. But what do you say to those that say Ken is okay?
Ken is okay?
Ken is okay. Ken and Barbie. Because I'm a boy dad too.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, go pick the football up. What are you doing? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But what do you say to those that are like, well, but Ken is okay too?
Well, Ken will be an action figure then.
Yeah.
Action figures is cool. You know what I mean? Like when we was growing up, we played with action figures, G.I. Joe and all that. But even my parents kept me away from the Barbies, man, because you just like, I don't know, it's a culture thing. They just don't want you going too far down that and it to lead to something else. But in this society, they push it so much. But if you sticking on, I want my son to play with this and I want him to do that, they consider you toxic. And it's like, nah, man, I'm just I want my son
It's
to
my
be.
preference.
It's my preference. You know what I mean?
choice.
If
Yeah,
you look at what happened to Kevin Hart, you guys remember that when he went on Ellen and he had the whole thing about if my son picks up a Barbie doll house or something like that, right?
Right.
And I hated the way they treated Kevin for that, for saying that, because I look at it as a father of a son, and I want my son. I want to be able to relate to my son, so I can raise him the best way that I know how. So if maybe I was about to say something toxic.
I keep going, man. It's live.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry. So,
All right,
make
we
sure we
back.
wasn't burning it down or nothing. That's all right. Okay, so, and can I say this? It's good to see that your smoke alarm works. Okay, because that's a
Shout out to the young household that have been working
working smoke
Make
alarm.
some noise for that.
That's joking.
Right, I'm sure you guys seen the videos with the smoke alarm beeps going
I
off.
was say it's a running joke in our community with the beat.
I just at least it's not a low battery.
Yeah.
You know, I heard it, but I absolutely wholly agree with that. And you know, I would argue that if the toxic masculinity is so rampant in the Black culture, then it could be argued that it's the Black man has not been there because we know all the things that's happened. Like I was saying, their child wounded, all the mistreatment that's not accounted for, that's not considered. This whole idea of Black men are sassy if they express any type of emotions now. It's like, so at what point did anybody say men don't have emotions? Men don't feel things. I'm allowed to feel angry. I'm allowed to feel sad. I'm allowed to feel joyous. I'm allowed to be afraid. Like that's all human traits. Black men are not absolved from having human traits.
Yep.
So if we know the Black father isn't there, maybe it's because this dichotomy with so many Black men. I'm sure brothers can speak to this, of the child with their mothers. And a good sister of mine who has her own podcast, her and I talk at length about this topic. And she was saying that she could see how I propose that Black men love and despise their mothers because their moms feel that they have to be hyper masculine to keep their sons from
To maintain control.
And so it's like this love, but at the same time you might get punched in the mouth. And it's like, well, that's my way of like discipline my son, like, because I know if I don't do it, somebody else will go out here and they're not gonna stop punching him. So that's the best way to handle it. Right. So a lot of us have an unspoken, abuse that's going on. As a result, I mean, my mom is definitely super physical with me, but I also see that if she hadn't been, like, I grew up in 5 Oaks, like not in Fairview, like Parkwood and Mayfair, like right there in the thick of it. And it's like my mom was like, if you go outside when I'm not at work, I'm beating your ass. Like if my neighbors tell me they saw you outside off the porch. Yeah. Until I was like 16. Yeah. But I'm like, I look at where all my neighbors and all the kids in the neighborhood are at now that was just running around doing their things, tucked off, doing whatever, everybody's basements. I'm like, I'd have been right there too. So like I had to contend a lot of it with my mom and and her doing what she thought she needed to do. And that I would venture to say was to a degree necessary. And it's times it definitely went over the line in my opinion. But it also put the fear of God in me where it's like that's the only person that's gonna do that to me. That's the only person that can reel me in. So it's like, she was able to put that hold on me. And as a result, I was able to come out of that trauma and become, from not just my own standard, but several, women, men, older, younger, everything across the spectrum, like, just a positive Black man. But I did have that effect, and I know a lot of brothers do. And so they go into that with their women, like they love and they despise her because it's reflected in how they loved and despised their moms because of that.
Yeah.
So they're trying to break that.
Great explanation, man. But let me pose this question to you guys. So would it be a healthy masculine trait in our moms then?
Yes.
Because as you kind of explained, you have that love hate.
Absolutely.
But would that be considered a healthy trait, being that she's momming and dadding? So now that we're older, we look back. My mom was the same way. If it wasn't nailed to the floor, I was getting hit with it.
Yes.
Period. The only acceptable answer was yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Absolutely.
That's how it was.
In my household, C's, you got one C. And the funny thing is, I never knew this. My mom told me I will never tell you what you could get a C in. I struggled in math. Math was the only subject.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't put two and two together coming up that, okay, I'm over here sweating bullets like, Mom, look, I got a 69.9. She will not give me the C. But I did all the work. And that would probably be that was the only subject I was able to get a low grade. Everything else had to be A's and B's, period. And she taught me that's what was acceptable.
Absolutely.
So when you look at that masculinity, this is something that we kind of battle with in our society today with women, is that masculinity, because some of us are taught to be masculine. Hey, it's me. I'm the masculine one in the relationship, but she coming in and she dropping her nuts just out. Hold on now, can't be two. It's only one in the house, so let's unpack that real quick. Is that healthy coming from a mom when she's doing it?
Let me touch on this. I would say it's not.
Okay.
I think you need a balance. I think you need a balance of, in a household, two-parent, a balance of femininity, masculinity. Because as a man, when you're teaching your son to be masculine, one of the positive things is teach him how to control his emotions. That's important. Because as a man, you can't react the same way a woman does, like within her femininity.
Right.
Men that's usually emotional, I think that will be toxic masculinity, when they can't control their emotions and now they want to shoot you up for stepping on their shoes or messing with their girl. A man who can't control his emotions is dangerous.
Super dangerous.
Yeah. So that the masculine thing is always being in control of your emotions and always being in control of how you react. You can't control what other people do, but you can control how you react to that situation. That's something you have to be taught and something you have to be shown. And I think in a lot of our communities and our households is missing that. So they're only learning it from the mom, but they're learning feminine traits, toxic feminine traits, acting over emotionally, not looking at things logical, not analyzing it before you make a move, not thinking with a clear head. It's just emotional, but that's what they've been learned. That's what they've been taught, because that's what we're seeing. But when you have a balance, then you have the man teaching the masculinity how to move, but then you have emotional intelligence comes from, I think, the woman. It can help, like how to process your feelings or emotions. I think that's what we need help with. Absolutely. We can be masculine, but when we have these feelings, we have trouble processing them, expressing them, because we get frowned upon when we do so. We get called weak. We get called soft. We get told you're not supposed to cry.
Sassy, that's the one.
Sassy, yeah. Everything is sassy now. It's like a lot of that stuff is just clickbait and stuff.
Yeah.
But now you really have to learn how to deal with your emotions, because your emotions are your emotions based off your life experience.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to deal with them, process them, and move on from them. It took me a while to learn that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To kind of like to sit down and realize what you're feeling, deal with it, and then move on in a positive way.
Yeah.
But I think that toxic masculinity comes where you don't deal with it and you just physically express your emotions in a negative way.
Yeah.
Versus cussing somebody out or getting into it with your woman or whatever. So
the club.
Yeah, all that stuff. Foolishness.
Yeah.
It's definitely cultural. It's definitely learning the household. For sure.
And one of the words that stuck out to me when it depicted toxic masculinity was aggression, because you only heard that word only referenced towards African American men. Even when you go back to times of slavery, you only heard those particular descriptive words toward black men.
Right.
So out the gate, we were kind of labeled, and we've operated in nothing but toxic masculinity, because it was always a fight to see, no, you're not going to do this or you're not going to do that to me, because we came out of the gate with people doing this and that against our will. Right. So one thing I like in the school system, and one thing I'm pushing in my K2 hallway, is SEL, and that's social emotional learning. A lot of our young men, even in first, second grade, they're so angry and operate out of that toxic environment. So the SEL is a program designed to help them unpack their emotions. And as you said, Steve, you learned it as you got older. I learned it as I got older, because I was a firecracker. I wouldn't give a damn who it was or what it was. If you did something and I felt like you coming at me, I'm saying whatever I want to. Basketball coaches, everybody can get it.
Yeah.
See, I was a little different because I had to mention I would be, disrespectful to not mention my older brother, who, even though my dad was a deadbeat, my older brother, 16 years old, my senior, was there and in my life. And so him being like literally a generation ahead of me was just always on the bleeding edge of just being outside of the next life cycle I was coming into. So he's giving me all the game, and he was my hero growing up, my superhero. So if he said it, that was the gospel. And he worked 2 jobs. He taught himself computer programming. He went from being, a busser at a restaurant to being, senior software engineer at Daily News for 15 years, and like working from customer service up through that chain and process without going to school. Like, brilliant brother, played around too much in college, athlete, but just didn't have the discipline back then to complete college, but was self-taught. And that's something my mom did for both of us and my little sister, when she taught us to be self-learners. I tell people I'm an autodidact as well. Like, I'm a self-taught person. My mom was like, you can't go outside, obviously all you can do is read books. We can't afford cable. This is before the internet, cell phone. So it's like, I'm gonna buy all these books for my job at Children's Medical Center, and I guess you're just gonna sit in the house and read all day. So I literally would just be in the house, and I got to a point where like I would want to go to the library and just get lost in books. Like, if my mom couldn't find me, she knew I'm at the library. I'm not in no bullshit.
Yeah.
She can find me at the library at the corner of Wabash and Salem. Like, I'm there. So
Yeah.
my brother being there and teaching me what it looked like to be a man, working in jobs, working his way up, was always respectful of women, but didn't take no shit either.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna be your best friend, but I'm also not gonna let you walk over me. I'll treat you like the queen that you are, but you need to also recognize that I'm the king.
You segue into my next question, because my next question was, well, how did he carry himself?
Absolutely.
Because if we look at, according to society, how men and boys should act and what's acceptable, how it seems like he carried himself in a way that set a foundation for you.
Yes.
And now you're walking in that in ways that are acceptable.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He wasn't just, stiff and rigid with no personality. He's full of personality.
Yeah.
But he also was like everybody knew he's going to work hard. There's no question about the quality of his work. If it's ever challenged, he's going to excel above everybody. And he does it so effortlessly, but it's because he works so hard.
Yeah.
Same with his sports, his athleticism, like he worked hard. And so it was always a confidence, but it wasn't cockiness. So I always saw him toe this line of like, I know who I am. I'm humble. I'm always respectful. But if you fuck with me, though, it's all be like, we don't have to go to 100. We can be at 59.
Yeah, that's it. But those are the things that we need to highlight as healthy.
Absolutely.
Because we already know what's been highlighted as toxic.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you something, because you work with the kids. When my son was in West Carrollton School District, I used to get phone calls, and at this time, he was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. I used to get phone calls, and majority of his teachers was white, young teachers, and really relatable to him.
Right.
I get calls, he calls some boy fat.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he? I mean, right. Is that toxic? No, is it a cultural thing? Because when I went to Fairview, when you put a whole bunch of boys with high testosterone level, they're gonna jab on each other, they're gonna crack, they're gonna be competitive.
Yeah. It has to be a top dog out of that group.
That's what they do. And I think it's natural, and it develops your confidence, your character, your tough skin.
Yeah.
But when he's over there in a different cultural setting, they call me like he made some boy cry because he called him fat. I'm like, well, I don't care.
Absolutely.
But it's a different teacher than when I grew up. I grew up and it was mostly black teachers.
Yes.
Older male teachers. They
in our neighborhood. Yes.
In our neighborhood.
Yes.
He going out there, and it's usually white teachers from 20 to 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, what do y'all think? Do you think it's a cultural thing as far as different cultures label different things toxic?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, okay, so from the macro view, I have to say that us as black men are the most masculine men on earth. And that's no slight to our Asian or Anglo brothers, but I'm just saying that scientifically, our skin is our roots. We are genetically, our blood is our DNA. And I don't want to get too off track, but I also think there's some systematic stuff that comes from the top to emasculate the black man because he's the strongest. I would say that it comes down to there's tough love. And when you're descendants of slavery, and all you know is tough love, when your language has been stolen from you, you've been separated, and you've had to scratch and survive your entire history, you've had to build this country and get little to nothing back for the effort that you put in, you're thinking tough love. Whereas if I'm Caucasian or Asian, the tender love, I can be, their parents are allowed to raise them in a more tender fashion.
Mhm.
The same thing you guys saying, everything that could be pick up. Yeah, I've been hit with cord phones, tracks,
Yeah.
CD
Yeah.
cases back in. But
Yeah.
but my mom had to be masculine like that because the father wasn't around. Now, that we can all go different reasons where fathers aren't there and all that. But end of the day, like when they're not, the mom has to step up and show that tough love. I do think, obviously, best case scenario, the father is there to what you were saying, but I think that what your mother did, that was tough love. And it seems like you accepted it as that. Like, she loves me, it's tough love. And I think, and I'll end it with this, saying that we should differentiate more, like, that love is two-sided. It's both tender and it's tough. And just because it's tough, that doesn't mean it's toxic.
I like that.
Hey, I'm gonna add something. I'm off camera. It's the host, but I think the moral zeitgeist is what determines how we view masculinity. Because there was a time where masculinity in its pure primal form was needed as a survival. And Chris and I, we talked about this offline, and I love you bring it up about how it was more patriarch in the past, and now it's more matriarch now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's pushing us towards a society where, let me see if it's showing up here. There you go. So you see me behind, see me guys. But I feel like that just how we determine it is based off the moral zeitgeist. For example, if we think back in the day when Hitler was able to get to where he got to, was because the zeitgeist at that time validated his emotions and what he spoke about. Right now, somebody talked the same thing that he does right now, he will be instantly canceled. So now the moral zeitgeist is hey, to be tough, to stand on it, to be firm, to be a leader of your family, to stand. I seen Lil Nas X just dropped a video, and I said, I'm not a big religious man, but I know that if he made something about the Prophet Muhammad, the Muslims will stand on it. I mean, they're
Oh, yeah.
very masculine. He would be afraid to depict the Prophet Muhammad because he know what will happen. But he'll disrespect Christian men because he views us as soft.
Right.
I'll let you take it back over. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Good point. Good point. As it pertains to Christian men and being soft, it's all such a play and turn off of the word love,
Absolutely.
and that's because if your Savior so loved the world so much he gave his only begotten Son, then therefore you have to treat me a certain way. So even when I wrong you, you still gotta love me. Great point, Drew. Because in the Muslim belief, you do anything that is out of character and out of alignment, oh, we coming to see you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about Malcolm X. I love Martin, but I guess just due to the day and the era that I came up in, Malcolm was more appropriate for me. Malcolm was more appropriate for me. Wes Kelter would kind of be representation of Martin.
Martin. Yeah. Fairview.
Fairview would be
No, absolutely.
you push me and I'm pushing you back.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
But that's a falsehood. Jesus was not soft.
no, he wasn't.
Jesus didn't play that shit. Like he check people all the
You can't
time.
say Jesus and shit, but okay.
But people
No, he did. Yeah.
Like I'm a student of becoming a Christ and studying the tutelage of Jesus, the Christ.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I would never say any more than I, identify as a Christian. Same with, Prophet Muhammad and Islam. Like I don't follow Islam,
Yeah.
but there's much to be learned from
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Same
it's
with Judaism,
still-
all the
yes.
faiths, everything from our
Yes.
big
Don't leave out Buddhism, man.
Yeah,
all of
Buddhism, Taoism, all the knowledge.
medicine,
Yes.
the African, metaphorine and
Yeah.
Sarah said Heru and all
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Where they took all that, but with all that, like none of these cultures have ever actually done something. Like the reason that Christianity is the most pervasive religion, you know, in the world is because they made people accept the Bible or the sword. The Crusades happened. They went around the world and told people, you either going to accept this Bible or I'm putting this sword through you. So it's like, let's not sugarcoat shit. The reason most people are Christians is because they told people is that's this or that.
Yeah,
You better take your pick. You're going to pick up this Bible and you're going to accept this.
I agree. But there's also we will never know what the original scribes were.
Absolutely.
And in our religion, it has been interpreted and it has been duplicated. It's been so watered down that at the end of the day, you would really have to really deep dive into Christianity and learn it for yourself.
Well, I mean, but we know Jesus was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Jesus was fighting against
Yeah.
the religious false prophets
Yeah.
that was basically telling people, follow us in the name of the Most High,
Yeah.
but you got to pay us taxes. And we put our foot on your neck. Same thing. The same thing as the Crusades. Like, it was like, hold on. This ain't, I went to Africa.
Yeah.
I was raised on the truth in mystery schools. This is what the truth is.
Yeah.
And y'all are liars. That's what he was on. He wasn't in there like, man, come on, y'all. Tell them the truth. He was like, y'all are liars. That's not the truth.
I'd like to bring it kind of back to the masculinity but I'm going to segue here and say that so America is a Christian country, essentially, and then you look where places where the Muslim faith is supreme, they don't have this issue of toxic masculinity, right? Dubai, right? And in that area, they don't have the issue of toxic masculinity because, one, they're at war a lot. So I think I heard Andrew Tate say this, but it was something about the American military, or there was military that went over there and they were trying to get education for women, like the schools. And so they had it going, they fought, but then when it seemed like everything was good and the men were like, all right, we're going to leave now, then within a year it was gone because there wasn't men fighting for the women's rights. And there's a popular saying of that people sleep peacefully at night because men stand ready to do violence on their behalf.
That's what I want to piggyback off of. And I'll say this, I think there's a level of masculinity you have to have due to the society and the time you live in. So because it's been so civilized now, we're in 2024, everybody's woke, everybody's liberal, everything's soft. You don't have to be as masculine or display those characteristics as the 40s and the 50s. But I think biologically, though, now if there was a war to break out, we know who they want on the front lines. The most masculine, toxic dudes, the niggas.
They want the gorillas on the front.
I know.
Another case in point, your house is broken into.
Yeah.
Or your house on fire, you got to call a firefighter.
Yeah.
Do you want a 2024 modern metrosexual dude?
Yeah.
Or you want some big, masculine, 6'4" dude?
Do I want a gorilla sitting in the doorway?
Exactly.
So I want you to stay right where you are, because I promise you, everything that you all were just saying, movies that came to mind that kind of really put me on the masculinity and like, oh, shit, I got to stand on it. 300.
Oh, yeah.
Leonidas threw
Oh, yeah.
the dagger and hit the golden guy.
Yeah.
But he made him bleed, and he let him know, you're not as masculine. You're not him.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
human.
not bowing down on you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Before I do that.
I will die before I do that. Another one came to mind. Weirdest one, Boys in the Hood. What Doughboy do? Well, Doughboy had to go and show them who he was.
Yeah.
It was aggression.
Yeah.
But was it healthy?
Yeah.
Or was it toxic? And since we talk about kind of in the black culture, I would go on. I'm gonna go out and say that was healthy.
Yeah.
Because I had to ride for my brother, who y'all just took. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
We know in the court of law, I'm wrong, but let's talk in the hood culture. I'm standing on this.
Yeah.
Right.
But not,
And I'm right.
The culture in the court of law, you're wrong, but police officers are the only authorized force in this country that are allowed to use lethal force.
Yeah.
There's no other professional that's allowed to use lethal
That's
force
true.
besides police officers like they do. So their whole culture is ride down on you, kill everybody in the house, take all the shit and sell it off and make money and buy new police cars and vests.
Mhm.
It's like it's a racket that they have created an illusion around. And like you're saying, they made it to where us being masculine is toxic because our masculinity is, like you said, the most powerful. And it's even beyond just genetically speaking who we are, an original man, etc. You got to also think about the fact that we are the descendants of those that they bred with the strongest, smartest, fastest, most enduring women. And we're the descendants of those children and their children, like where they kept breeding the strongest, fastest, smartest, most enduring, because they was trying to get slaves, but they never imagined us ever regaining our freedom. So we are literally that powerful. Every single one of us is literally a walking supercomputer, a walking superhuman because of what they did on the breeding side. How they treat us like animals is actually is backfire. So that's the reason they have to put their foot on next. That's why they got most of our most masculine men locked up, because they like, we need the warriors locked down, so in case they ever do wake up, they don't got enough numbers to really do anything.
Let me give you this one, the Django. When they had to fight in front of the two white guys, DiCaprio and the other guy, who he telling the guy finish you, because we need to know out of the two of you, who's the strongest nigga out of the two of y'all?
Who we gonna breed?
Who we gonna absolutely?
Yeah.
And we take him,
Absolutely.
and we take her,
Absolutely.
and we gonna, like you said, we gonna put this, we gonna make it happen.
Absolutely.
That's like you want a superhuman basketball player. You find Lisa Leslie and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you ain't gonna tell me you're gonna get a 5-foot kid.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna just keep it real, man. And anybody out there, especially the ladies, y'all can tell me what y'all think. But I think it's respectable, still in 2024, even though everybody's woke, for a man to have a certain level of violence in him, a certain level of masculinity, but exercise enough emotional control to not inflict it when it's not needed. No one respects somebody that can't inflict violence or can't protect who they with. That's not respectable. But knowing that you can and you don't is more respectable. That's like learning martial arts and using it for good, but having control. So it's like, it's respected in a sense to have this masculinity, to be able to, if someone mess with your woman or disrespect your kids or something like that, to drag their ass up and down the street. You can do that if need be, but you have enough emotional intelligence to keep it in check. You're not gonna just do it off anything. But they respect that much more than some dude who's just soft and woke and don't want no problem. No, I want problems. If it calls for that, it calls for that. Versus someone, who just, I don't want no confrontation. Nah, man, women don't really respect that, and they hear it, they know they don't. So don't believe everything you hear when you be looking at, social media, like that's cat.
Not the top.
We don't have to try to argue with it. We can look at the numbers and who the fathers are of their children. In most cases, it's not brothers who they would define as having positive masculine traits. So they do look for the bad boy, the dangerous one, who they know can protect them and make them feel good and take them to the edge, but not take them over the edge of danger, to give them that, that thrilling type of existence. But then they also want you to, paint each other's nails and, wash their hair.
Build a man.
Absolutely. So it's like, you want us to be feminine and masculine, but I think it's also because they've had to. They're like, well, you can toe the line too. Like, I've had to do it. Right. So, I mean, it's easy for me to switch, you should be switching too. But it's like,
but if somebody breaks in his house, are you going to stand behind me? I don't want my woman standing behind me. I want to take the bullet for my family. So I try to, not bringing my family into it or me personally, but I think I always implore men to, hey, remember that you're the one that has to take the bullet, or at least hopefully you win the fight, you know what I'm saying? But you got to man up. Yeah, you are the front line guerrilla in that army if somebody attacks your house. So
I understand biology says you're stronger. You're more capable one to provide protection. So you're the one to protect. Biology says they're more soft, feminine. They're the one to provide the nurturing.
And there's a certain amount of respect that should come with that just because we're not at war and like somebody hasn't broken in, that doesn't mean that I don't have to stay ready. The whole better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Every day.
I agree with you. We are every day. Are we not at war against the enemy every day? The devil or destroyer, however you want to look at it?
I shared last week just kind of a personal work issue. And it's like, a certain individual that continues to want to be the masculine one and emasculate, me. And I'm like, sorry, You got the wrong one, sis. I walk in with my chest first, and I'm not. I can't deflate myself for you.
Right. It's just not in it.
Yeah,
It's not
I
in you.
just
Yeah,
can't.
don't
And
do
I
it.
won't deflate myself. You know what I'm saying? Because this is who I am. This is my moral. This is what I'm principled on. And at the end of the day, I can't become a victim to your mental circumstances. And a lot of we come into a lot of people who want us that are masculine men to be a victim to their circumstance and turn our masculinity down.
Right.
I'm not. I don't see it.
Because something they experience or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I
therefore
don't
turn
see it.
yours down because I'm lumping you with all them. Like, nah, that was your experience.
Yeah.
Hey, man, before we accept calls, I do want to bring up this. I do want to bring up this instance where this gentleman, DJ Academics, where he masks around and he's masculine and he's hard and strong, but he shows feminine tendencies. And I definitely want you guys to react to that. So, and while I'm pulling this up, just do me a favor. Let me ask you this. Why do you think it's so important for men to not be masculine? Because I understand the moral zeitgeist, but there has to be an agenda. It's like a why. Why is it so important for men to not exercise what's nature to them? It's shunned. What's natural to us to be strong. You know, if you guys get into an argument, y'all know those lines not to cross. But we have young men now who act in such a manner that's so just disregarded, so emotional. They want that. It doesn't make sense when we look at the young kids in Chicago. I say young kings, because if their energy gets directed and they have fathers in their home, trust and believe they will be conquering anything they put their hands to. But the narrative is that they say they don't like it, but they create an atmosphere that cultivates that type of energy. They want young men acting emotional, acting feminine, acting like women, but then get upset when they do it. And I think it's because we want to get more young men into prison. I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theory here, but there's a reason why that is pushed in media, in music. We have our women who are now being masculine, men are being feminine, painting nails and doing all of that. There has to be a reason. I don't know if I'm missing it. I don't know. You guys cover.
I would say the U.S. is a partially failed experiment, in their mind because they never planned for slavery to end.
There you go.
So with that, it's like we never expected these big, strong, brilliant, capable black bucks and women
Come on.
to get free, and now like they are in dire fear of us one day waking up and being like, you know what, we tired of this shit.
Yep.
We not keeping all this. So they're racing. I feel like the whole robotics automation thing is them racing to try to do away with the lower class because automation and robotics and AI, all that allows them to do all the same work that we did. They can have, automated, robotic custodian cleaning the floors at the school.
Sales
It's
club.
never gonna complain about the hours,
Yeah.
pay raise, none of that stuff, get recognized, pension. So it's like that. I would, that's part of my whole 2053 thing. I think they're saying by then we'll have technology so advanced we won't need y'all.
I don't need you.
Yeah.
For any of the work.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think like the times cultivate how masculine, because everything is just easier, softer now.
Absolutely.
You think in 20 years, what's masculinity gonna look like in 20 years? Having a penis is masculine now. That's it. Everything is gonna be so easier. Women don't need men like they did back in the 50s, man. They go to work. I'm in real estate, and I know for a fact there are more single women getting into their houses, their first homes, than there are men. I mean, they banking, they making money. So it's just not needed. But like I said, if a war was to break out or things reverse, people naturally go back into their roles. Who you think they're gonna want in the front line? And that's just gonna tell you masculinity is positive. It's
they do need it because that's they have these statistics about black women having more degrees, starting more businesses. Now tell sisters like y'all winning, but y'all really not winning. And they're like, what you mean? Why you say that? And of course they ready to go in and cancel me. And I'm like, y'all do have more degrees than any other group in America. You have more businesses than any other group, but you also have the most debt from those degrees. Nobody has more debt than Black women in America. You also get the least amount of investment funding into your businesses. And I'm like, why do y'all think that is? They like, they throw all these answers out. I'm like, because there's no Black man in the household to be like, you know what, babe, fuck that. I'm gonna hold it down. Like the one chef sister, country, she has a police officer husband that she retired, and she told me she was gonna be on as an actress like 30 years ago, and it didn't come to fruition. I can't remember her name, but she's viral now, and she's been trying for 30 years. She told me 10 years, if you just work, I'll be on with my acting career and I'll retire. It took 30 years, and he worked, and it was a whole thing about her retiring him and telling him he could retire now that she's famous.
Okay.
Women was like, why would you do that? Yeah, and she's like, because he worked another 2 decades.
The fact that they even say that,
like, went in on him. I mean, sis came in and went in like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, this man held it down. He's the reason I've been able to chase this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, without him, it wouldn't be possible. So I'm like, that's what we need. That's what we're lacking. I'm like, this 50-50 shit, I'm like, people don't understand law averages. It's like 50-50.
You want
Yeah.
Divided by 50 plus 50 is 100. Divided by 2 is still 50.
Yeah.
In school, that's failing.
Yeah.
The relationship's already doomed to fail. That's an F.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's nothing to talk about. Like, if you're not both putting in 100, it doesn't average out. 50 plus 50 divided by 2 is 100. It ain't math.
That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saying it as just doing what you can, the most you can do within that relationship. We talk about 50-50. It don't have to be split 50-50. You're doing the most you can at that time to put in 100%.
So that way we have overs.
Yeah.
We're not both like, okay, let's both get to the bills and we both cut it off there. You have your savings account, I have mine. Like, why aren't we pooling that, getting our credit straight?
Yeah.
Me helping
and then more.
Become authorized user. You better than me. So, and then we go and get into real estate. We're not just happy to buy this $500,000 house we living in and we making no money. I'm in real estate. I tell people like, house is a liability if you're not making money off of it.
Yeah.
So like this idea of American dream to own a home, like that just like this diamond bullshit.
Yes.
For you to spend money, like it's all bullshit.
I'm not even gonna jump on that because you're gonna segue me.
Yeah, listen.
I'm being real estate, but
I love what you just said, man. I did mortgage banking for 12 years. Drew also, and man, that game that you just spit came from a white lady.
Absolutely.
And she put, I was on the phone call for an hour. I never forget that phone call. She put me on to so much game. And she was like, I mean, why would you not, put everything together, get one person's credit strong enough, get the house of your dreams. If anything ever happens, now your credit is good. Yeah. You go get a foreclosed home bigger and better for less the money.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. She was like, now that's how this game is supposed to go.
Absolutely.
She talking about power payments. If you got three accounts, you pay on all 3 of those accounts. You once you pay one off, you double that, take that double that payment, pay the second one off. Then you take the third, then you make 3 payments on that third one. And it's, I said, man, absolutely. I'm writing it down. Absolutely. I'm like, cool, this call ain't recorded. Absolutely. I thumped that lady. That was some really good, that was some really good advice, man.
Yeah, and like I say, even though you say most women are more degrees and more in debt, I think if we're not doing things to come together, then both is losing. At the end of the day, we're supposed to come together.
Yeah, be one.
Yeah, and be one to be strong.
Oneness, but it's such a lack of trust.
That's what I was about to say. A lack of trust and a lack of leadership. Because none of those things can be accomplished without those.
So you were mixing in a toxic with the potential healthy.
Absolutely.
So, in the end,
double conscious.
Yeah, it's a wash in the end because we're not elevating. We're still gonna be in the same place arguing about why we don't have a joint account.
Absolutely.
I think that gentleman that you said that held it down, that's a great characteristic of a healthy masculine guy. Because he took on that responsibility and said, okay, I got this, you go do that. And in the end, we both benefit. You ready to open the line up?
Well, the line is open if anybody want to call. And whoever wants to call, they don't have to be on camera. It's better if they can, if they don't have to be. But before they do, I'm about to have you guys react to this, okay?
I think my headphones turned on.
Like at the time, I already told who it was. At first, I wasn't telling, but I already told who it was. You know what I mean?
You didn't tell who it was. You didn't tell us to go.
It was Danny Green. He was on the Toronto
Danny
Raptors.
Green from the 3-point
yeah.
league?
And by the way, that was the year they won the championship, so he's on fire.
Yeah, that's fact.
So he's thinking any girl he hit is gonna be
Right.
like any girl he's hitting up.
NBA niggas be snipers.
So
they pay to play.
he's messaging her like whatever. Not even gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed. She's answering like a man should be able to ask my girl certain questions like yo, hey, you know, how you like, hey, you ever been out here? Oh no, I want to come visit. What?
Right.
What you
Small
tell
talk.
another
No,
man
she
you want
didn't-
to?
she didn't
What you need to
reply
go
with that.
visit where he at?
No,
you
she
with
didn't.
me?
Yeah, that's too much.
Okay, now I'm gonna be honest with you. This is where the sucker part comes in. I didn't learn this from Jamaica. I learned this from growing up. Like, you know, half of my childhood I spent in America.
Okay.
I learned this from New Jersey. Okay. When I seen that shit,
You gotta be clear.
yeah, I can't put no bad no bad state on it. Hey, so when I seen it, I vaguely remembered because I clicked on even his profile. Yo, he had just got married the last month. He posting his wife up and everything.
Wow.
You know what I said? Well, if you trying to get my bitch, I'm gonna get your bitch. So I ain't gonna lie. I DM'd his girl. I said, listen, I just told the truth. I said, listen, yo, your husband is trying to get my girl, so I need you. What's up? Swap it out. Let's swap
Dirty
it out.
Mac is real.
Let's swap it out. We can't
do that.
We can't swap it out.
do that. You
Dirty
can't
Mac
do
is
that.
real.
We gotta swap it
You
out.
cannot do that.
She ain't believe me too.
Flag on the play.
Yo.
What
she,
the fuck?
She ain't believe me.
Wait,
All
you
right,
can't do that.
Now this is where it gets into sucker territory.
What?
She says no, it's not true. By the way, she still got wedding pictures up there.
What?
Like her last picture's a wedding picture. I said, if you don't believe me, go check his phone because I got it on the other end.
my
Man, they direct her to the
Of course.
He's a you're
Don't mess with my
diabolical.
girl.
That was nuts.
What would you consider?
That was crazy.
That's dirty
Nigga,
macking. That's dirty
change your
macking.
dick, sucker for love,
No.
hater.
Why you messing with my girl though?
Call that
It's
dirty,
not
call
your
that
girl.
dirty
She
macking.
belongs
You
to the
just
game.
got married. Hold on. Come
Does he
on.
not see the plaque right there?
No, hold on.
That plaque says she belongs to the game. Was that record out at this time?
It might have been.
Come on, man.
Hold on. Here's
You
my.
listen.
See this dude in the.
He's a clown.
Yeah, he's super clown.
All right, so you guys can talk. Go ahead. I'm pulling in old boy right now.
So, dude was trying to holler at academics a lot, right?
So is that feminine? Is that feminine what he did?
That he told dude's wife
So we got
that he's trying to holler at my girl.
Yeah. First of all,
now we all some people ain't. Boom.
hey, if
Hi.
it ain't one of the most ratchetest DLA teachers in the world. Hey, King. Boom, boom, boom.
Damn.
Shots fired.
This is what we
What's up, King?
This is exactly why I wasn't gonna call in. First of all, there's nothing ratchet about me. If I'm ever ratchet, it's because it's been brought out of me. And if you know that side of me, it's because you brought it out.
What's up, Will?
What's up,
What's
chap?
happening, man?
You all right?
Yours? What's happening, man? What's going on?
Hey, nothing. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So we're talking about toxic masculinity right now. We just played the clip. Did you hear the clip?
We did. I did hear the clip a little
So what
bit.
you think? What you think about what he did? What's your feelings about?
Maybe I missed that.
You missed it.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
I'll text him.
Okay. Well, the subject right now, we're talking about toxic masculinity. How
Okay.
you feel about it, what you feel is good, what you feel is bad, based off, society right now. So how do you feel? Like, what would you describe as toxic masculinity right now? What you think?
Well, I think that's it's very broad.
Okay.
Can you
Within our
give
culture too. So within the black culture, we'll just keep it there because you're black. So within the black
Okay.
culture, our black men, like, what's characteristics of toxic masculinity?
I think a lot of it is narcissism. Um, we're talking about black men, so a lot of it is narcissism, like wanting. I see roles are reversed. Like a lot of women, huh?
No, go ahead.
A lot of women want men used to chase women, and now men are like wanting women to chase them. I think that's toxic. Like, so we
Super
don't,
toxic then.
huh?
So
I said
when
I'm
you say
super
chase
toxic.
though, okay, so let's say I can't hear. I can't
Oh, we
hear.
lost her, Andrew.
I'm no, I'm listening.
Okay. So when you say chase, like what do you mean? So like we in the lounge, we chilling. You see me, I see you. I don't go up and say nothing to you, but we both catch eyes. You not gonna go up and say nothing to me? You ain't gonna say, hey, how you doing, black man? You look good. Is that chasing? Like you can't open up your mouth and say anything to me? If you see I'm out, you see I'm
No,
looking good.
don't get me wrong. There's some men who just won't. No, like I'll put bait out. Like I'll definitely. I'm not. No, I'll put bait out, but I'm not about to hound you and chase you down. Like women want to know that because a lot of men are out here dabbling with with everything. Does that make sense? Like you're in several different pockets. So how am I supposed to know
So Will he can jump in too.
that you want me or whoever else that you're chasing after?
You
So
gonna know after you shoot your shot. You gonna know if I want you. You gotta shoot your shot, then I'll let you know if I want you or not.
right,
That's
but
like
why
how
do
that's
I
how
gotta
you
shoot
do
my
it.
shot? Why I
Why
gotta
do I
shoot?
got to shoot my shot?
Because in 2024 we equal. You can shoot your shot.
It's equal opportunity shot shooting.
Okay, let's go back to the masculinity and the.
Yeah. About to blow the roof
Oh,
So
the
like,
I'm gonna let
babes.
her go.
what was the clip talking about? Like, give me the basis of the clip.
So listen, the basis of it is this: there's an NBA player trying to holler at academics, who is a popular podcast guy, and he in turn went and jumped in Danny Green's girls inbox and hated on him like, "Hey, your guy's hollering at my girl, so what's up?" We are trying to determine if that's some sucker shit or if he was justified in doing so because Danny Green tried to holler at his girl.
Definitely so.
So they girls, not wives, right? Everybody's just girls, no wives. Was they wives
But was it a wife?
or girls? What's the
It was his wife, but I mean, he was cheating on his wife.
Danny
Danny
Green
Green?
was.
The NBA player was cheating on his wife.
Yeah, his wife. In academics.
Yeah,
But
jumped in.
academics is the one who pushes this narrative of being so masculine and so cool. I would have reached out to the man and told him instead of trying to reach out to his
So
wife.
what you think, Will? What you think on it?
I didn't catch the clip.
So
So
you know
I'm
who
not.
DJ Academics? So DJ
Yeah.
Academics has a girl. You know who Danny Green is. Danny Green has a wife. So Danny Green was trying to get on DJ Academics' girl, low key. So when DJ Academics caught wind, he just went straight and hollered at Danny Green's wife and said, "Hey, your husband's trying to get at my girl. Check your man's, or maybe we can swap out. That's what I'm into. Let's swap it out." Now, was that sucker shit, or do you think Danny Green was disrespecting DJ Envy? Like, how you would have handled? What you think?
I think Danny Green for sure is disrespectful as
Oh,
fuck
for
to holler
sure.
at his girl. Yeah, but I think he should have went straight to the man. Like I mean, like they're going to the woman. No, I mean it's almost kind of like, yeah, I understand what he did, but you kind of dry snitching on the next man instead of just approaching that man, straight up and handling it like men, like you said, whether it's we got to go outside or we gonna talk this out. But yeah, I would have went to the man on that. So I would probably say sucker shit.
I
Hey,
agree. I mean, it is. You probably, for me, I would have just called everybody together. Like, we all need to just sit down and have this conversation
Or that.
and just
Or that.
where, yeah, because
Yeah,
you're
or
not gonna
that.
get answers going one person to one person. We all just need to sit down and let it all come out.
Yeah, we playing telephone. Like, nah, let's just all get get on the same line. But did you
That
answer the question about what you think toxic masculinity is overall?
Yeah, that's
Did you
what I was
get your?
gonna ask you. Yep. What
Uh,
you think?
I mean, I think it's so broad. Like overall, it's just a lot. Like toxic
it is.
masculinity, it can start from like childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what you see, what's brought into the house, what you see on TV.
Thinking girls can only play certain
Yeah,
sports
like
or
it's
do
so
certain
broad.
things.
So are you talking like relationship? Are you talking lifestyle? Like, are you just talking about overall? Because it's a lot.
It can be overall.
Well, just
So
give us one.
yeah, like so. Listen, like if I was talking to you and we in a
Mhm.
relationship and I told you I don't want you wearing that, it's showing too much, it's too revealing. Get your ass in that room and take it off and change. I don't want you wearing that. It's too revealing. You showing too much ass. I think it's disrespectful. Go in the room and change if you going out with me.
Yeah.
Is that toxic or is that me protecting my woman? Which one is it?
It's a little
Toxic.
it's a little bit of both. Like,
Hold
first
on.
of all, I'm grown, so don't talk to me like I'm four. But also, as your woman, like, I would understand the standard that you would have. Like, I really, nowadays it's just so weird, like relationships, period. So if a man, it's about how he carries himself. So if you out here, you know, you want to sport me, so yeah, I'm gonna do my best to look great for you. But if you don't approve of what I have on,
Hey, hey Keish, you still with us?
So she is, but so should have probably stop it. What's
Yeah, I
the
think
name?
that.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Will.
y'all.
Let's,
hey, Red, quiet,
Oh, there she go.
huh?
you cut off for a
We,
minute. What was you saying?
Hey Keish, I want to ask you a question too. You ready?
Okay,
Do you think masculinity is
yeah.
lost in this day and age that we're in men?
I didn't get the
Do you think that masculinity is
I
lost?
didn't get the question. It went out.
Do you think that masculinity is lost uh, in this day and age that we're in
I don't think
amongst
it's
men?
complete, but I think it's fading. I do think it's fading. I feel like and the was the agenda of taking masculinity out of the black community. Yes. Um, I don't think it's gone completely because there are some men who stand on it. They stand on being the man. But I also think there's a lot of men who are emasculated, and that's part of the reason too. You know what I mean? Like, some females, they take on that masculine role, whether it's by they don't have a choice or whether they're forced into it because of how they've been treated or whatever. But I don't think masculinity is what it used to be.
I think it's a mixture. I think
Hmm.
there's a I think we're in a day and age where women empowerment and feminist and I can do it all by myself has been promoted pretty heavy. And then at the same time, there's an attack I feel on especially with black men our masculinity. You know, just for an example, they're wanting our famous black actors and comedians to wear dresses and all of these different things that they want to do to try to make take our power
Masculinity.
away from
Mhm.
us and then raise the feminine the feminist thing. So like you said, now women are are doing a lot of those manly traits. Like they asked you, Steve said, if you saw me looking good in the club or the bar I walked past, are you gonna say something? A lot of the times in my experiences, women are pulling my arm and trying to buy me drinks and things. Like I'm like, hold on, like you know what I mean. So like it's cool for you to say something, but I think it's too much role reversal um going on right now. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Hey, so
And
Will,
that's
let me ask.
I'm sorry. I understand. That's kind of my point. Like, women are no longer expected to just be the woman. And I mean, I get it. Like, it's 2024, things have changed. And I always throw my little, like, bits out there. But being raised, I was taught that a man knows what he wants and he's going to come get what he wants. So if I'm chasing you down, I don't know for sure if this is what you want or if I just threw myself on you. So, and I think that's where a lot of women go wrong too. Like, you've been throwing yourself at this man, and of course he gonna hit it because you threw it at him. You know what I'm saying? So if you're throwing it at him and you're forcing your he take it, but now your feelings are hurt because, to be honest with you, this is not what he really wanted. You never even asked him what he wanted. You just put it out there and he took it. But he didn't take it for keeps. He just took it because it was there.
So you know, with women throwing it out there like that, I mean, women want to get down too. So I mean, it is why is the guy the villain in that?
He's not the villain. I didn't say he was the villain. He's
No,
being
no,
him.
I know
If I
you didn't, but generally speaking,
mhm.
in most situations, the guy's the villain.
Right.
you know, I'm just curious to know, like, why is he the villain?
It's all on perception and who she is and how she, if she knows her worth. Because like a lot of stuff, I have opposing views on a lot of things that women feel and how they say, not that they're wrong, because that's the view and the lens that they look through, that they're looking through their hurt, they're looking through their hurt and their pain. And some of them just categorize all men, just like the woman who's been hurt so bad, a real man comes along and wants to treat her and she ruins everything because she doesn't know how to not self-destruct. She's so used to self-destruction.
Now you
So,
talking. Now you talking.
and now he's over it. You know what I mean? So he's not always the villain, but it just depends on who he's dealing with and how she's been dealt with before. So no, I don't see the villain in that. But I understand that some women do, and I understand why they would. But it doesn't make him a villain.
Thank you for sharing.
I also think too, women that want, and you let me know what you think, Will. Women that want masculine men have to take them in their entirety. This ain't a candy shop where you can pick out different characteristics that you want. Like I want him to be masculine, be able to fight, but then I also want him to listen to my opinions and not be controlling and not be uh jealous and it like no man, you can't like cherry pick and build a man. Like if you want a masculine man, he's gonna have certain good characteristics and some ones you might not care for. But I think that's considered in a masculine man though. We usually they are a little overprotected because they want to protect you. That's a good characteristic. So when I was telling you, hey, don't go out because they're looking a little tight. If we go out, who you think gonna have to fight? If a dude brush up on you, who you think gonna have to do the fight in order? Because I've been in that situation to where dudes will test your girl because she got something on, and they'll test her, and now you gotta you gotta throw hands. You gotta be the one to step up. So that's kind of us protecting something. Hey, baby, that's a little too tight. I don't want you to be getting disrespected like that. I don't want you to be getting looked like that. I want you to just go home and just put something just a little bit conservative, and you can still look sexy. That's not controlling. That's me protecting my lady. That's masculine. So y'all have to accept that in its entirety, though. What you think, Will?
I want to add a piece about that. So I was having a conversation, and I was explaining to a sister, like, you know, in the BDSM sense, the dominant submissive dynamic, people think it's the dominant that has the power, but that's not true. It's the submissive one that has the power because they're the one that define the boundaries and have the hard and soft limits and all that kind of shit. So they're the ones that says this is what I'm going to do, and if it gets too far, this is the safe word. And if you don't stop, it automatically goes into assault and rape. So it's like it can be the craziest shit that they into as long as they're consenting. Even if they want a non-consensual experience, it's still consent. They still call it non-consensual. I think non-consensual consent. Like that dynamic where they want to feel like you're taking, but it's like, but they're still in the one in complete control of this situation because they asked for it. So it's the same thing in the literal sense, where it's like the dominant person has to have a certain level of integrity and restraint and complete respect for that submissive person, because the submissive person is literally saying, "I'm trusting you." So it's it's both and. The submissive side has to be willing to say, I trust you, these are my boundaries. And the dominant person has to want to adhere to those boundaries the same way they want their boundaries adhered to. If it's not the same parallel level of care and consideration as themselves, then you can't expect anybody to ever submit to you. So I'm like, I posit that, like a lot of sisters say, I agree with them. It's like a lot of brothers aren't coming at this whole dominant thing correctly. Like, you don't have to be loud and be extra and say, yo, what the fuck is you wearing? Go fucking change that shit. You look crazy as fuck. Like, versus like, yo, love, I'm not going out with you like that because if some dude act crazy, you don't want me to put myself in harm's way to protect you. So like, come on.
Right.
And that could be it. I ain't gotta say nothing else. It's like change. I'm gonna see you on the couch and watch anime.
So does that make her toxic if she says, "Fuck you, I'm not taking my. I'm not showing you."
That's the definition of toxic. She's destroying the relationship.
Oh,
she's dissolving the relationship. Yeah.
Our safety.
Yeah.
But
what if you a sucker though? And what if you only saying it because you a sucker for real?
Go ahead.
What else another?
Now some men do that. Men do have some men
What will say?
I do like what my man's just said with
Mm-hmm.
how you say it. You know what I mean? Just the simple that could turn a night good or bad. Like, take your ass in there and change. Or, hey, baby, man, we can't go out like this. It's gonna cause a whole scene. And now that could change the entire night. But I think that stems from how we were raised and all that. Like, men really aren't designed to, show our emotions, our feelings. What'd you say?
Black man.
And then that's what's toxic.
Yeah,
But
we
That's
listen,
we
toxic.
not raised that. We're not raised that way because a lot of the times men don't cry. Man up. Anytime there's like a situation where we probably should show our emotions or feelings, we're told that.
That's the difference between black and white men. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like white men they're taught to
Allowed to cry.
express that. They're allowed to cry. Oh, come here,
I
Jimmy.
definitely
They're
cried.
allowed, but black men, this is this is where like the educator in me is like really sad for little black boys because they're not allowed to. They're the man
You
of the
have to
house
be
at 6.
emotionless.
Now you want to fight, that's where toxicity starts at for me because it's rooted in you. Like you are raised to do that, but it doesn't make it right. Like men get offended and get mad because little boys play with baby dolls. Like they grew up to be fathers. So where's the softer side of them? Like, and you do have emotions. I get so sick of hearing women are emotional. No, men are emotional. That's why you get these sucker attacks. That's why
stop
y'all
right
be
I
making.
there.
got I got a question for
Stop
you.
right there, Key.
Question.
Go ahead, Will.
I got a question. Okay, so what about okay, you said the you want the softer and the guy that got the emotions and he shows himself. So what about that whole thing with nice guys finish last and women don't want that nice guy?
Come
Women
on now.
women don't
Speak.
want the sucker. They don't want that because they don't
Speak.
want a man they can walk all over and all that
No,
stuff. So
who has
do you think the man is just protecting himself from that?
I feel like you said, you were taught to not cry, to not show emotion.
Right.
I feel like you should it's emotional intelligence. It's
But
not
have you thought
taught
about why though?
because it's not taught in the black community.
No, but I
It's
know my question is like, why were we taught that? Like, why do you think our uncles and fathers and grandfathers taught us to not show emotion?
because for years passed down they weren't taught emotions. I mean, we can take this all the way back to slavery. You
Hmm.
I disagree.
can't
Well, yeah,
show
now I would posit that it was weaponized.
wuss, it makes you soft, it makes you a girl, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like that's, to me, it's equivalent to telling a little boy he's gonna be gay because he picked up a baby doll. If you're gonna be gay, you're just gonna be gay. That has nothing to do with having a baby doll. You know what I mean? We don't like the way it looks. We don't like the way it sounds. Or you're crying like a girl. Well, girls aren't the only ones that cry. Men get mad, so they fight because that's what you were taught. You fight. You use your fists. So instead of expressing, so for me, like, women they're able to cry when they're little girls, they're pampered, they're told, they're asked, what's wrong, sweetie? Tell me what's wrong. So they're able to express. So when we're 15 and 16, you get a catty girl who got a smart mouth and she has all this wit and she's going off and telling you how she feel. Meanwhile, you got the boy who's 16 and he about to knock her head off because that's all he knows how to do.
Right.
So it's about the emotional intelligence. So when he say get your ass in that room and go change your clothes, that's the only way he know how to talk to you because that's how he was taught. That's the environment he was submerged in. Versus him seeing a man like, hey, sweetie, I don't like that dress, but like you said, I don't want to be out here fighting, and you you don't want me to see no, you don't want me to fight. So let's just be respectful and change it. I like a man like that. I like a man who can take charge. He knows what we about to go do. You tell me what to do. I have no problem being submissive, but it's what am I submitting to? And do you know which way
And
you're taking it?
But
absolutely,
Like
I've
you
also
can't
seen
tell,
a lot of women. I've seen a lot of women
huh?
don't respond to that though. I've seen a lot of women with where they only respond to the more aggressive way Steve said it. Like, get your ass in there. Like, that's the only way they're gonna take him
Yeah,
serious.
they got to
Now,
be
if he tries to
handled.
be
Because
nice,
Yeah, but that
if he
might be
tries to be
sexy to him
nice,
too, though.
yeah,
it's
if he wants to be
End of the
nice
but
and
time.
all
well,
that's
that
how
stuff,
because it's
some
true.
women will take
It's
advantage of
women
that.
like
That's all
that.
I'm saying.
to do other
I would definitely
things, and
say though, most women don't respect a man unless he really gives that.
Yeah, don't
He
want
has to
no
be
sucker.
really aggressive.
They want to be handled.
Nine
Yeah.
times out of ten. Like, but I was also going to posit that maybe masculinity femininity is love, the embracing, etc. We know that, in the traditional sense, a boy is supposed to be passed to his father at 8 or 9 years old once he's out the formative years.
Right,
Once he learns love and compassion and all those positive values. But that ain't supposed to be like, I'm not here for, you to like me. Because when you grow up and look back, you can be like, damn, Dad, thanks, man. You made me a man.
Man.
And it's the same with relationship. I feel like, we have to be careful, like we all are saying, where it's like we have to know that we're in a positive masculine dynamic, but it's still, I'm a man. You may not like me, but this is what's necessary for us to be safe. I got like that meme. I'm sure y'all all have seen it, where it shows like how a woman is just la 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 in public, and it shows the man is always calculating, looking like making sure anybody about to run up and snatch your purse, making sure anybody fucking run up and hit you over the head, and y'all end up like Batman's parents. Like we constantly are paying attention. Like she's just flitting about the like bro,
Pete Bruce.
You know what? And to jump onto that, when she was saying that white men differently than black men, like they can express themselves easier, whatever. Yo, and I'm gonna just get personal. I'm gonna tell you like straight up, man. Like I've talked to white women that likes black men, and I ask them, "What is your fascination with black men, other than the obvious?" You know what I mean? But they will say that we are aggressive, assertive. We know what they want, we passionate. They say they don't get that from white men like that. They say we're just more aggressive and we handle things. They love that passion about us. They love that assertive. They love that, and they don't get that like that from their men. So, what you saying that you don't like about us, then white women do, because it says masculinity.
I didn't say I don't like it. I'm saying the difference. Now, me, I like that. I like a man who knows what he wants. I like a man who can be aggressive, but he has the emotional intelligence. He knows when to back down. He knows when to let me to speak up. He knows how I'm feeling and how to counteract that. Like if I'm having a bad day, I don't need you coming in here telling me what's too little and what you don't want me to wear. Like maybe we just shouldn't go. I see that you're upset today. Do you want to do something different? I'm not saying like because I'm aggressive. So I need somebody that's just as aggressive. I always explain it like I need somebody that can beat my ass, but they won't. You know what I'm saying? So, but I need somebody who can also be, huh?
But
That's a fine line. That won't.
your characteristics should be feminine. If you want a man that's aggressive, we're attracted to feminine, cooperative, submissive.
I'm not explaining it right because I am feminine. I am feminine, but when I need to be aggressive, I know how to do that. I don't want
black culture.
So, but when's the time that you need to be aggressive? If you were a masculine guy, when's the time that you feel you need to be aggressive? Good
a
question.
masculine man. I don't need to be. Like I don't think you heard when I said I don't have a problem being submissive. I think that is when a man can tell me what we're doing, when we're doing it, where we're going, just be ready. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But again, from culture, from coming up, just like you were taught not to cry, I was taught that I'm a black woman. I'm going to have to always work harder. You're going to always have to do this and do that. I'm single.
Both black men and women, though.
Well, I'm going to say, but they say black mothers raise their daughters and protect their sons.
Mm-hmm.
Because the father's not there, they raise their daughters and protect their sons. So they raise their daughters to step into this leadership role, and they protect their sons from being a man and the world consuming as a result of that, because it's not acceptable.
Yeah, but it seems like I'm raising my daughter to be a single woman.
No, we're not raising them to be a single woman.
No. I'm just saying like that statement that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But before I say, listen, I want to go back to this whole getting dressed, because I'm not letting a dude off the hook on this. You don't get to be a suck ass nigga and you're only doing it and you're dumbing your girl down because you really a sucker at heart.
Right.
Like insecure?
At heart.
No. At heart, you a sucker, meaning that you don't want no smoke with nobody.
Yeah, like he's just not letting her.
And that's why he's doing it. Because
I just saw a quote yesterday that said that only a wise man tries to avoid violence. Only a fool seeks it out. So he's wise and he's like, yo, I don't want no smoke. So you gotta
niggas be shooting, bro. Like,
I mean, smoking in the bodegas in New York and shit, and then the girl getting shot because she turned the dudes down to sit around the bodega with their dude. They try to grab her ass or something, and they end up shooting both of them type shit. Like, That shit is really happening.
It is, but she got ass. She got ass in the skirt jeans.
But it ain't got okay. So
But you already know what it is. 'Cause it's like, oh, she called for attention.
But
they
see, but
they broken. So we gotta
calling for attention.
society being on some goofy shit. I said wear sweatpants.
yeah, I get that. But
I ain't gonna go up and
why do I gotta dumb her down? You know, you in the fitness, Steve. Your lady, you and your lady step out. Hey, y'all gonna be.
it's different. The double standards, dog. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely double
See,
standard.
that's the part. Hey, and that's the part right there where life loses me at, because if my woman is stacked, hey, listen, you ain't coming out with nothing like just
Okay.
out the
It's-
way.
That's what I was gonna ask. Where's the line at though? Like, where can she go out? Because there's got to be a line somewhere,
You
right?
talking about the house of panties and bra, basically.
But some of the stuff
But
is
it's a Muslim. He's like, yo, I'm on some conservative shit. I'm conservative. I want my girl conservative.
Yeah,
That's just
because she represents you. Yeah. So let me ask you something, Will. If you're in a position to where you rocking with your girl for real. Now you provide, you protecting, you sharing your resources, y'all traveling, you picking up tabs, you doing all that. You mean to tell me if we go out somewhere and she wearing something I don't want her to wear, I gotta be like, please, baby, can you put something else on it, man? Nah, bro. Like I'm doing all this for you. I can't assert myself and say, now I won't be disrespectful, but I'm not about to beg you. Like, please, can you?
Yeah, no,
Listen,
it shouldn't be a back. It shouldn't be a back and forth. I don't think it should be a long, drawn out. No, like if like everything you said, Steve, if all of that is true, been together for a while, we're traveling, we're doing all this. If I request for you to change because I feel like it's gonna make me uncomfortable, don't think about outside. This is about me. You should not want your man uncomfortable. If your man is sitting here telling you he's uncomfortable, it should be nothing for you as a submissive woman to say, I want to make my man comfortable. So then it shouldn't be an argument. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'd like to add this to the conversation to show some healthy masculinity on my part. So I think y'all can let me know if y'all agree. My wife, we were going to the mall once. I'm trying to think of the mall name in Columbus, but we were going to the mall, and she had an outfit. Her whole back was out, basically. I don't know if y'all seen this, where like the whole back's cut out or something like that. To me, that was too much at the time. Now this is probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember like getting upset, like at first wanting to be like, nah, we're not doing that. But I came at her respectfully, because that's healthy masculinity. I came at her respectfully. I said, I'm not comfortable with that. That's a lot of skin you showing, right? And then we had a conversation about it. She was like, it's not like that no more. It's okay. Just this one time, let me see how people react. And I thought that was smart of her. So I was like, okay, that's my baby. I'm gonna listen. We got a respectful, So we went. Everybody was cool. Like all that, nothing happened. Nobody was like, oh dang, all that skin, And so, and I realized, okay, maybe I was being a little old fashioned. And yeah, so like I don't mind her wearing showing a little more skin and stuff. But it was good that we could talk about it. And I tried to show some healthy masculinity. And just keep a close distance to her though. But yeah. So sometimes, yeah, we can't do too
But I
much.
think it's that idea of saying, I said this, go do it, versus let me explain. Because I feel like that's where a lot of the breakdown was in my childhood. Was like, if somebody had explained why, I wouldn't have ended up developing the feelings I've had of resentment, because it would have had context. But like, if you just like beat a kid's ass and don't say nothing, it's like, what the fuck you beat me for? Like, I just got beat. I don't understand what I got beat for. So in the same way, it's like, yo, these are my concerns. I'm not saying be on no such, like, I'm not on the bacon shit. I didn't ask my girl to change before, and it's not a problem. I'm saying like, I'm gonna always still be on some. I believe in stoicism. So it's like, I feel positive and negative emotions. That doesn't mean I have to be swayed by them. And people think Stoics don't feel anything and they're trying to feel anything. That's not true. It's like, these feelings are just that. Just like me being hungry. I don't need to fucking go on a rampage and start, killing people because I'm hungry. So the same way, if I'm feeling sad, I don't need to go on a rampage and kill people because I'm sad. Let me feel this sadness and look at it like a barometer. Like, what am I feeling sad about? I'm going to be introspective and be like, why am I feeling sad? What got me feeling sad for real?
So I'm wrong in his situation. I'm wrong if I say you need to throw a shawl or poncho on. Your back is showing. Is it delt day? Why did you start your back? Too much of your real delts. Throw a shawl or throw a poncho on and let keep it moving. That's what y'all saying?
Hey, listen, fellas.
It's your woman, so like that's, yeah. I think it's
just some sucker ass shit. Period. Like, if my woman figure is dope as fuck, and she throw on some shit, no matter what she put on, it's still gonna get some eyes. But she's a confident woman, and she walking in and knowing that I came with him and I'm leaving with him. Yeah, you come try your hand if you want to. I don't give a damn who you are. I'm leaving with him. That's what I came with.
What would you say too much though? What's too much? What's your line?
Okay, so
Check my pins.
for example, my lady.
I think that's a compliment.
Great question.
So based on what I personally think is too much. So for Derek, Coach D, of course you're not gonna have no shorts on with your booty cheeks hanging out.
So you can't see that cuff. It's the cuff is showing us.
It starts.
You're gonna see that motherfucker no matter what. If her body is that dope, you're gonna see that motherfucker no matter what.
Not bare skin.
Not necessarily. Skin is different.
No, I don't want ain't no ass cheeks hanging out. Hold it. Because see, I'm gonna jump on the lady side now. Okay, shit down to your kneecap. You can't wear no tight ass gray jogging pants. Hold on, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Now, come on now. Hey, you can't walk out with a motherfucker walking a date mall with a white beater on, or motherfucking pecs and all that. Yo, shit, you out here with yours, and all you got is a fucking string around your top. You don't think your lady gonna be, hey, my nigga, put that shit up.
But women are not as aggressive as men, though.
Man, black woman, listen, a real black woman ain't going. You ain't just about to walk out the house with your shit all out and open like that. Come on now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you are.
Come on now, man. Like, come on, like, let's be realistic, y'all. Let's talk about a real black woman. And ladies, no offense. I mean, those women that ain't got no problem speaking their mind, don't give a damn who you are. You can be Barack Obama, and she gonna be like, hey, no, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. You're not about to go out with your shit all out like that. So all I'm saying is, for me, no, I don't expect you to have on a top with your tatas just pouring out. But there are certain tops, if you are top heavy, that you ain't, no matter what you put on, you're not going to be able to help it.
But hold on. So what if she's like, I don't want to wear a bra in this?
That's a no for me. Hold on, but there are some tops where unfortunately they don't wear bras, or it's a built-in bra in the top. And either way it goes, you're gonna lose that battle, because if she's blessed, she blessed.
Here it is. So nipples is popping.
So
because of the top, technically that's how it got to be.
Exactly. And some tops are made that way.
So let this out.
So I'm just saying, some tops are made that way. Hey, all I can speak for is Coach D. Clothing is it's a fickle topic. Women's clothing is a fickle topic. Because a woman can wear a trench coat that motherfucker like a minotaur. Horse has woman. And that thing sticking out.
Man.
Me and you, we go, come on now. Keep on. We go skating. Go ahead, Will.
Hey man, 2 words. Go change. I mean, all this.
My nigga.
Hey, go change, bro.
Well, I said, we go skating.
Go change.
Even in jeans, we see them things poking out.
But then some
I'm gonna tell you, they'll change.
The difference between trying to show lingerie and not showing. That's the difference.
Yeah, but come on, y'all. Let's use some common sense, man. You ain't about to we ain't let none of our wives, women, girlfriends, the sneaky link, you the number one sneaky link. You're not walking out in no lingerie. Come on now, y'all. You not walking out in no see-through shit. Even if you're the sneaky link, you can be like this. Yeah, all right, right. Good to see you, bro. Hold on 1 second. Hey, I swear to God, you better get your ass on.
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, as men, I'm confident enough to stand on my business. At the end of the day, yes, there are parameters to what our women should wear when we go out. If we go to the club, shit, we might be on our fatigue, gangster shit that night. But if we're going to a gala, I expect you to dress appropriately for the occasion.
I like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. But there's gowns that's some fucking players' balls gowns. It's
a formal gown that you're not wearing to that gala tonight.
Sierra.
Look at Karen. Karen has a nice gown on. Nothing around that right there. I'm just saying. Hey, Will, tap in with us, man. You said go change. Tap in with us, Will.
Hey, hashtag go change, man.
Hashtag go change.
But I do like what you said with dress for the occasion. You know,
yeah, that's it though, for real. Like Yeah,
That's
in all
really the end of
seriousness.
it right there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so then what would you guys say about what Sierra? What she wore out with Russell? Do you guys remember that? And then I know Gucci Man, but I know he's kind of more the gangster rap stuff. But I know she wore damn near see through everything one time. But let's talk about Russell and Sierra. Like she wore some very provocative stuff. I don't know if you can pull that up or not, but
Looks good.
Yeah. But now when you now we're leveling up in its entirety.
But that's still
Okay.
though. He still has a say.
He does, but how do we know she's not getting paid to wear that?
Well, they make money now. Yeah.
well, let's assume that's
Majority of the time, there might be this little piece that 50
Yeah.
just dropped.
okay.
And Sierra, you know what? You've been rocking with us. Here, we gonna
I
here.
get that. But if Russell Wilson did have a problem with it though,
Yeah.
and she got
Yeah.
they're married.
Yeah, but marriage first, so I ain't got nothing to say. You're right.
Okay, let's assume that they're regular people, that they're up.
Yeah.
Okay, if in that scenario, what
Hold on.
would you say about I don't think that was it. There was one where it was more like see-through.
Is it that one there?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'll bring it up.
Put it on
Okay.
the screen, y'all. We're gonna put this up on the screen. Y'all.
Yes, get your ass back up them steps and change them shit.
So
Go change. I'm gonna go change on that one now.
hey,
Ladies, hold on, ladies.
Oh,
Let's get. Hey, you is Ryan with you, Kish?
Yeah, she's right here.
Okay, let's get the ladies' perspective.
my wife's
though.
not wearing that out.
Yeah, let's get the ladies' perspective.
I
Because
would,
Go
for
ahead.
self-respect.
If I did have the body type, like I still wouldn't
I wouldn't do that.
wear that out of respect for myself and my husband.
Right.
See, but then we get called misogynistic though because we feel like this. We toxic.
But
If
most
we-
women like
expression.
they wouldn't wear that. And still be.
That's what I'm saying. If you want a masculine dude, you can't have one like, come on, y'all can't pick and choose now. Come on, y'all. She's revealing way too much. She's married. She's a kept woman. Like, nah, ain't no way. Go change.
okay, so what if she was a model?
If she's
Okay.
getting paid
Oh, come
to
on, Will.
wear,
Take your model as
Come on, Will.
if she's
How-
getting paid to,
Come on,
So-
Will.
and I get some of that money, then now that's a whole other thing. But then also, am I a pimp though? Am I pimping my woman? I mean,
Right.
your value, yeah.
Well, see, like my
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. I think I heard one of the ladies speaking. Say it again.
Now you're selling your wife out. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, I'm not going to wear something just because you offer me some extra money for it. If I'm not comfortable in it, or if I don't, because I mean, Sierra has always been kind of provocative and sexy. So her marrying him, it never really changed much, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know that he's not, that he's okay with it? How do you know that he's not okay with it? And does it make it right if he got paid or if they got paid as a couple for her to wear that? Like, where do you draw the line at?
So the context of what I was saying on that was if she's a model or if she has a contract. You know, some of them have different contracts with Louis, with Gucci. Like I know when Jay and them, they were all in I think Paris, and Pharrell and them did the Louis Vuitton fashion show, and it was some pieces that were one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? So not per se I'm paying, with regards to just here, I want to pay you to wear this, but more so from a business standpoint.
Okay, but where do your morals come in? Not saying that she doesn't have them, but I guess it would just be a conflict. Like, do I get paid
And-
to wear
And the
aside
thing
from my
is,
morals, or huh?
most women's apparel attire is designed by men.
Hmm.
So it's not really women designing a lot of these pieces. These are men's names. Fendi, Louis Vuitton, all that. Like that's all men. So even lingerie, most of it's designed by men, not designed by women.
Or two, if they want you to wear something, didn't Cat Williams say they tried to put him in a dress and he said nah? So can't you say no? I ain't wearing that. Go get something else and I'll wear it.
But I'm gonna say I have a personal experience with this because my girl dances for DCDC. She's with a dance company, and they wear pieces that she would never wear out on the street. But for performance,
She gotta wear it.
I mean, it's not. She's like, she may be uncomfortable in pieces, but it's like, okay, I know
Context.
performance, and it's not just politics. It's like it's part of the piece.
Right.
Like, so
Yeah.
it goes with the thing. They're not just naked for being naked. It ain't less. It's like the piece requires them to have some funky outfit
Well,
over the whole.
that's totally different. I was saying context. So, like, I mean, gymnast, right? I mean, they're wearing basically, leotards and stuff, but they got to. I mean, that's context. They need the freedom of movement.
Players, man, that golly. I'm like this. I'm not gonna tell you, hey, go put your warm up. I take track.
That's what I was just saying.
Track.
When we was growing up, like, it was like
Fairview, even at Fairview, our track team was like,
cats going through their catalog of memories.
Like, Dunbar, schools I went to. I was like, hey, Devin, I think we got you on.
Yeah, she can talk.
All right, hey, Devin, hey, share out. So right now we've been talking about masculinity, toxic masculinity versus healthy masculinity, and we've just kind of spun off into men being masculine and also talking about women's apparel and in a man's masculinity, telling his lady, hey, I think you should go change your clothes because that's not acceptable for what we're doing tonight. And I don't want you to wear that. What's your thoughts? Hey, you're muted if you are talking.
I think I heard him say "go change."
Oh, nice.
Hey, Will. Hey, Will. Hey, we get some T-shirts made. Hashtag go change.
Go change.
On the way. Hoodies on the way, y'all. Hashtag go change. Hey, I like that, Will. Put me down for an XL hoodie.
I got you.
I think one.
Hey, give Andrew two, one for his bottom and one for his top.
I see my man Will represent for the K side, man. You know he a Kappa, so they don't play that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Manute,
man,
you don't play that.
Yeah, okay, all right. My dogs is mighty 8'5", mighty 8'5".
Oh man, I feel sorry for you, brother.
Yeah, I respect the candy cane. Though. It's real masculine.
Y'all walk around with the pharaoh hats and shit on, don't y'all?
I love it, and I love it. Hey, but in all fairness, we all of us one big brotherhood though.
Divine Nine, man. We
in
all
all
in this.
fairness, man.
Man, could you make the argument that what Russell Wilson did is that toxic masculinity?
Let's talk about it.
Because letting your woman, now it's difficult because they're celebrities and we don't know, the incentives, but assuming that they're regular people and a man lets his woman walk outside like that. Now, let's say we're at a gala, we're at a party, whatever. I'm with my woman. Now that's starting something. Now she's like, oh, you don't let me something like that, right? And then also like my woman's gonna be looking at me. Are you looking at her? She got nothing on, blah blah. So it's almost like I could argue that he's inviting people to this turmoil, right? Yeah, like let's have some class. I think that masculinity is classy. I think that is distinguished, right? So,
but if you marry a porn star, you don't. I mean, unless you
just kick the door in.
It's like sex work. You ever back your whole career?
Yeah.
OnlyFans model like have with the NBA players.
Right.
Girl like, yo, you ain't bringing Brady no more, so shit. I had to go do what I had to do.
No, she was out of pocket for that.
She was way.
He married her.
But was she hustling or right? But I'm just saying when you say out of pocket. But was she hustling, doing what she do?
She bringing money to the household. She's like, I'm bringing it back here
because I think
he met her at the porn stars.
Yeah, we're looking at this from a practical standpoint.
Praise.
Hey, Will, what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh man,
go change.
Well, I mean, you talking about from Russell Wilson's point of view, so his definitely ain't go change compared to what she got on. So he's not supporting the movement, but absolutely. I mean that is a good thought. Maybe he's just confident, in his woman.
That's all.
You know what I mean?
I take that. What about Beyonce?
Yeah,
Jay,
Beyonce.
Shit.
Jay Devil.
You can't tell Beyonce what to wear. You're not telling Beyonce what to wear.
Like, yo.
But hold on. But why not? Hold on. Why not?
Because that's how you make it.
After Jay-Z, he lost a lot of his.
So if we make the
porn star being porn star, then why the double standard now?
Absolutely. Agreed.
Nah,
So
but I think
We can't
Beyonce's
tell
life
B.
is in character. Beyonce spends her life in character. I don't think she ever comes in public and it doesn't and it's not all right. Let's get in. You know, it's when she gets home, shuts the door, then she says scene, and now she can be herself. You know, she probably might not. You know, but when if Beyonce has a camera, a phone on her, she is in character.
She's in character.
Yeah.
And I think she's trying to hold up that illusion. And
Yeah.
she's been more in her reach. And I don't even follow my girl. You know, it's like she's always had this.
She been more in her real element. Yeah,
yeah.
but
She want to keep it on. And,
Yeah.
I'm tired of
Yeah.
keeping it on the air.
Yeah.
She's tired. Like,
Yeah.
she's exhausted.
Hold on. Hey, so listen, I want to stay in this same frame of mind, but we watched the Jonathan Majors interview. What was that? Toxic masculinity, or was it healthy masculinity? Hey, listen, man. So now we in the aftermath of that. He interviews now, and he's telling his truth. Was his truth more from a toxic standpoint, or was it from a healthy standpoint?
I ain't never messed with a buddy, so I have a personal position about that. Like, never in my life. Okay.
That's trying to get us canceled, man.
Oh,
Trying to get us canceled, dog.
Right, well, I'm personally has never went that route, and I don't like anybody that does. But like, I got a bunch of white aunts because my family's from West Virginia. But I just always had a position of like, I can't take her to the Kwanzaa celebration in dashiki. Like, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, she can never understand what it means to be black in this world from a feminine perspective, to be able to compliment me living that reality from a masculine perspective. So I'm like, I just can't. Like,
but can you make it healthy as the man in that relationship, and you're bringing her to you're putting her in certain rooms, as to where certain beliefs and things are celebrated in that moment? Can you, being the masculine representation in that relationship, make it healthy?
nah, because if she, Irish, I ain't got to put on no kilt. Like, like.
So elimination, buddy.
That's why I was like, I need somebody who can be like, everything I get it, and why you practicing.
Right.
Like, I got it. She's not going to ever be able to truly understand that.
Ladies, tap in, ladies, tap in. Hey, there she is, Devin. So I have Devin, I have Keisha, and Ryan. Now, these three ladies are educators, so they have, I know they have a very unique perspective on this topic and what we're talking about. So I'll start with Devin, and then let's cascade over to Keisha and Ryan. Go ahead, Devin.
Well, fill me in on the topic because I just
Okay.
got
Oh,
on.
shoot. Okay. So listen, we have been talking about this evening toxic masculinity versus healthy masculinity. And we kind of spun off into, let's say we're going out and our ladies are dressed in a way that we feel is not
Classy.
It's not representing us in the way that we want to be represented. So as the masculine figure in the relationship, some say, hey, get your ass upstairs and change your motherfucking clothes. And some say, babe, listen, I understand that that's a favorable outfit, but I'd appreciate it if you went upstairs and changed your clothes and put on something a little bit more something that's more representing us.
We got to add a third contender when you said like, oh no, it's cool. Go ahead, baby. Like,
or the third contender is,
wear what you want. It's cool.
Wear what you want to wear, baby. We outside tonight. We cool with that.
Your body, your choice.
Now I will tell you, my guy Will right now, his campaign is strong. Hashtag 2 words. Go change. All right, so Devin, give it to us. Give me your thoughts.
Go change? No, that's not a thing. I think it depends on really what the dynamic of the relationship is, because if your reasoning for wanting her to change is because she's your girl, but not because it doesn't look good, it's not flattering you. If you saw another woman in it, you would feel like, oh my goodness, why is she out like that? Like, I don't understand that. Like, to put those type of pressures and restraints on her and she's not in agreement with it, that's confusing to me.
Awesome. Keish, Ryan, what you got for us?
You just shook him up, Devin. I mean, I still stand on what I say. Like, it does depend on the dynamics of the relationship. as your girl, as your wife, as your woman, I'm not coming out in anything that's going to embarrass you because I'm an extension of you. So,
Yeah.
depending who you chose to be your girl, she's never going to do that anyway. And she's already going to check in with you like, hey, babe, we're going to this gala. The back is out. How you feel about this? Oh, I got something I got to wear pasties with. How you feel about that? Like, because your relationship should be cohesive. You should
I
ebb
feel
and
like
flow and work together. So I just don't feel like, and you were talking about submissive, your submissive girl, wife, she's not going to go out and get something that's just, especially when she's not single. Like, she's not out here trying to attract attention because she has all of your attention. But I've also seen men like okay, a few years back, one of my male friends was talking about his wife. He like she got this rock on her hand, and she already know. Like, if a man, when he see this rock and he can't compare to that, she's not even looking that way.
So what do you
So
call
she
that?
wants to, because she's coming home with me. Like, it's all in the confidence of the man too.
That's what I was about to say too.
So
I feel like confidence of the man.
all right,
yeah.
Ryan, in the background back there, girl.
Okay, I would say this too. It takes a level of respect coming from the woman because in this society, you got to keep it in house. So if he feels a certain way about what you wearing, and he, baby, go change or whatever, you got to be tapped into him and not let outside influences because it's a
But
lot of
that's
people on the internet will call him controlling. Girl, you should be able to do what you want. Your body, your choice. You got to block all that out. And if you really love your man and respect him, and he say he's uncomfortable with you wearing this, you got to let that be it. It don't care what anybody else is saying on the outside, any social media,
well,
anything like no.
it doesn't
Right, but you,
always for other people. It's your comfort level and what you. My thing is, my man should ask me what I feel sexy in,
I
what
like it.
I
I
feel.
like it.
And it's not always about somebody else or who's staring at me. And I've even had a male friend
Yeah.
say, like, hey, I want men to look at my wife because she's coming home with me.
All
Like,
right,
she's nowhere else. So it,
Keish, hold
like
that
I,
thought, Keish. Hold on, hold that thought, Keish. Jasmine, thank you for joining us this evening. Please share out. All right, Jasmine. So if you just joined, listen, we are talking about toxic masculinity versus healthy masculinity. So we kind of spun into a topic of us being masculine men and our ladies dressing for an occasion, and we not agreeing with what she has on. So we have a few different. So we have a few different options. One approach is get your ass back up them steps, change your mother clothes. We have another approach of, you know what? Is that what you want to wear tonight? We cool. And then we have an approach of, can you hear me, Jazz?
I can hear you.
All right. So our third approach is, listen, I really would appreciate if you would change your clothes because that what you wearing tonight, you look great. But for where we're going, I feel like it's a little too revealing. So I would appreciate if you put on something that was a little bit more reflective of us and something that's a little bit more appropriate. So we got three different angles there. Get your ass upstairs, change them clothes. Hey, you look. Hey, if that's what you're doing, that's what we're doing tonight. Or the gentleman-like approach. Now, is Will? Do I still have? I still got Will on the line.
That's phone dog.
Oh man! And then Will's approach was hashtag go change.
Now,
Chris put now on there. All right. So what is your thoughts, Miss Jasmine?
Um, my thoughts are there's always a fifth option, or fourth, whatever. I don't know how many options that you had because all the other options was centered around what the man wanted and what the man needed. And I agree with Keish that there should be a conversation about her sovereignty and what does that mean in that conversation. So, like I said, I'm not always going to be the type of woman you want to have around this because I am a healer. I do healing work centered in women and films, and I absolutely believe in a woman's right to have her own sovereignty because, like, that's just the truth of any situation. That's number one. So I do think that there is a fourth option, and that fourth option is if you have to dictate what that woman wears so much so, is that an environment that you need to take your woman that you claim to love into? That's number one. Number two is this: a lot of times when we're talking about what is sexy and what is not, it's often rooted in mindset and the psychology around what is presentable and respectability politics about how Black women should present in order to be respectable to a community. We also know that there's not much of anything in the greater society that a woman, particularly a Black woman, could do to help overcome toxic masculinity. There is nothing to preclude anyone being toxic, right? Which is what a man is trying to protect her from, if it is not a non-coercive and not appropriate environment, right? So we often have to take those into accountability. Now, this isn't saying that a woman is wearing like a summer dress, a summer thin dress that she would go pick up groceries in to a formal event. So I think we also have to add in the context of that. But generally, I think this conversation oftentimes about what a woman should wear doesn't really come from the perspective of what is best for the couple. It often comes from the perspective of what a man feels. And so that's why it's toxic, in my opinion. And that's why I said I might not be the best to have this conversation because of the type of woman I am.
No, that's great, man.
That's
We
good.
I
want a
have a
diverse.
question.
We want a Devin. I'm coming to you next. We want a diverse conversation. We want all perspectives. All perspectives are welcome. So no, what you just said was really dope, and thank you for sharing that. Devin,
Does the man
go ahead.
know
Go
who
ahead.
he's with? Does the man know who he's with? Because if this is how this person dressed and presented themselves before you, what was so amazing about you to make them change?
Mm,
People don't typically change for each other, they grow together.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like when two people are together, it is your job, your whole goal, your function to pump each other up. Because if y'all don't do it, nobody else will. Or you catch trouble because somebody else is doing it. So are you going to have your insecurities overshadow what I may need at that moment to feel good and confident?
Okay, let me say this.
That's
So
my
coming
question.
from the man's perspective, like if we're going somewhere, and let's just be honest, like I don't know, we might be overcomplicating it, and we're not saying that you can't look sexy, but it's just a baseline like that. Those pants are too tight. I'm not saying that you can't look sexy. I'm just saying those specific pants are too tight. Your cheeks is cheeking too much. That's all. The yams is yamming. They too tight. That's all I'm saying. Like, is there something else you could put on? But also, too, you guys never you don't have to worry about the perspective. Like if I wear something that's too tight, you don't have to worry about trying to fight somebody else for me. We do. Like if I take you somewhere and some dude get disrespectful, I gotta put my life on the line to defend your honor, or if he jump off or say something rude. Now if I wear a beater or whatever, you ain't gotta do nothing like that. Y'all might sass, but you don't have to put yourself in danger the way I do. Because men can get disrespectful. And from personal experience, I've almost popped off at somebody before from being disrespectful.
I have.
Yeah, and he has. So you got to think about in that perspective, like we got to put our life online, or we got to be ready to throw hands, which y'all might necessarily not have to. So just think about that. Like we're also saying, don't wear that for that reason. And them damn pants is too tight, man. Put some other pants on.
All right. Hey, I hear you, but no, I disagree because
we got OJ,
we got OJ and we got
Mitch, we got Derek on. They gonna say some stuff.
real quick. I disagree with that because women nowadays we got to think about the times we live in now, and women are feisty and are shooting their shot.
Thank you.
So
Can we get out the victim blaming? Like that's where, oh, you can't do this because of that man can't control himself. Hold the
yeah,
man accountable.
Yeah, so it's a two-way street. But hold on, I got my boy Nipsey Hustle in the house. What's up, Nip? I got Nip and OJ. All right, hey, so hey D, we're gonna start with
Yo,
you, D. Tap in with us.
I mean, my only thing is, so if it comes to my woman, I would just request, like, you kind of know what I'm looking for. I would hope you know the gist of idea of what I'm looking for, and you're already in that mode. So you dressing sexy and doing extra stuff, that's letting me know that maybe you're trying to get outside attention. Now, if you're trying to get outside attention, that's cool. You gotta let me know that we moving that way though, and who knows where it goes from there. So my thing is, if you felt the way or you dressed a certain way to impress this person, you're with this person. Why are we changing that? You know what I mean? What are we doing next?
Yep. So I would say
I
this.
wish we could
So
move out of the mindset
go ahead.
that it's for outside attention because a woman is so dynamic. We have to be a mother, we have to be a nurturer, we have to be a sister, we have to be a friend, we have to be all these things, but rarely do we ever get to be a woman. And what does a woman? Society defines a woman as being sexy and beautiful and all these things. And we never get that opportunity because we're too busy taking care of everyone else. So if that's what we need to feel like a woman to gain our sense of identity back, I don't think it should be a you problem.
So
Hey, dope. Hold on, y'all. Hey, let's get our callers in. Mitch, money making Mitch. Talk to us. Tap in with us, man. What's up?
I have to go to OJ.
We might have to go to OJ, man. That cricket ain't working. You on, man? Keish, Ryan, unmute. Tap in with us. I think we got a good thing going this evening.
And it's something Keith said too. I think it was her. We can't. I'm sorry. We can't control other men because they were saying hold other men accountable. I'm in a relationship with you. I can't control other men.
Well, I
Facts.
other men
Mike, you
looking
work for
at me.
AT&T. Ain't no way your phone should be trash.
look, hold on. Hey, first and foremost, I'm in Ohio. So this is why I stopped coming to Ohio, because the service in Ohio sucks. This is why I don't live here no more. But no, what I was
That's
saying though is, yeah, what up with you, Keith?
hi.
Anyway,
How are you?
making this hard life look easy. But anyway, no, what I was
Hey,
saying
you
though,
ain't being masculine right now, softy.
hey, hold on, big dog.
Mike, what's up, Mike
So,
Fish, baby?
first off, look, I saw something a while back. It says, men judge other men by the woman they keep. So for me, one, the women I attract, one, they're sexy. So if I met them sexy, I want to maintain sexy. So you get what you put out. I do agree. Don't sit here. You get a woman and the cheeks was cheeking, and then once you in a relationship, now it's like, your cheeks shouldn't be cheeking like that no more. But that's how you got her. So you get what you put out. So that would be my rebuttal to some of the stuff I'm hearing here. However, again, if you looking for the one that's fully dressed, then hey, go out and attract that such.
All right.
What about wanting to grow together, like maturity? I mean,
Yeah, people
we
change.
all
Again,
we also used to wear diapers at one point.
Right.
look, ain't nothing wrong with that. But again, that's having that conversation with your significant. That's having the conversation with your significant other, putting out
Right.
those expectations. But if those expectations wasn't set in the beginning, then that's on you. You can't blame her for that.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
But if expectations was set, is she allowed to just jump out the box and change that?
And that's a whole different conversation at that point.
Because I think that's where the argument is lying at right now. Because I don't want to say that women have to be a certain way or do a certain thing, and I'm not trying to take away from the amount of power and what women bring to the table. But at the same time, like, I mean, that's just the goalpost moving. Like, if you want to say one day I want to wear my cheeks out, the next day I want to wear my chest out, just because it makes me feel sexy, it makes me feel more of a woman. I don't think that's fair. Like, I don't think we can just walk around with our stuff out because it makes us feel more manly. Like, it don't work that way.
No, I agree. But again, having that conversation, that's what's going to be important here. Again, we're
So let
talking
me.
about growing and moving the needle that way. But again, if we set that expectation from the very beginning, I think that wouldn't be an issue. Like with me,
So
those expectations is set. You know what I'm looking for. I know I'm telling you what I'm gonna bring up front. If you with it, cool. If not, then hey, we move on.
Mike, I have a question for you then. So you meet your girl, she's not at her ideal weight, so she's wearing clothing that is suitable for the weight that she's at. She goes on a health kick, she gets herself together, she's shedding the pounds. Now she has to change her wardrobe, her confidence is up, she's feeling good about herself. She wants to dress the part now. What are you gonna say to that? You still gonna say have a conversation, or are you going to support her in her new transformation?
You're going to support her in her transformation, because if you're jealous about her transformation, that's not her problem. That's a you problem. Now that's insecurities with you. My girl,
No,
if my girl's gonna shed pounds, my girl's gonna look good. I'm secure in me. I'm gonna look good regardless. So if I'm looking good, my girl's gonna look good. If
I
she's
hear.
look, if she's moving, I'm gonna move. Again, about building each other up. So it goes both ways. Now, if you have a problem with that, now here's a flip. Here's a flip to that. Now, if she's shading that way, she's dressing sexy. Now, if it's in a way that's raunchy, that's unacceptable, that's a different conversation.
Give me an
But
example of what you
however,
think raunchy and unacceptable is. Give me your raunchy and give me your unacceptable.
my raunchy and unacceptable is she out here with the stripper outfit on. She out with a birthday suit. That's a different conversation. She wearing that thong, out in public. That's different. But if she's wearing a bikini, she
But if
dressing
that
up.
makes her
Listen, you
feel
go.
sexy,
Yeah, that same bikini she
but
gonna
that's
wear
what they're
with y'all when
saying.
y'all
If
go
that
to the
makes her feel
Bahamas.
sexy,
It's
you don't have a
Oh
sanctuary.
hell no.
But
that same
let's
bikini she gonna wear to the beach. That y'all gonna let her wear to the beach. Them same dudes gonna be looking at her. So what's the difference?
That's at the beach.
right, exactly. That's addressing.
But
Right.
ain't no
That's
one sitting.
dressing
Now she
for
ain't
the
gonna wear that bikini to
occasion.
the mall either.
So I tell you what,
Ain't no
Mike.
one sitting.
So I tell you
Come on,
what.
but that's so.
You wear a tuxedo to the beach and let her wear
I ain't
whatever
wearing no
she
damn
gonna.
tuxedo to the beach.
That's my point. You gonna
But the
dress for the
beach,
occasion. So if your girl is fit, trim, and is really locked in and in shape, and she want to wear a sexy bathing suit that's covering her pocketbook and her breasts, as a man, sit back, put a
Where's she
little baby
wearing it?
oil on
But
your chest, and let the good times roll, man.
put the context to it. Where's it gonna be at though?
The
Where at?
beach. We in Jackson Beach in Jacksonville, Florida. We in Jackson Beach off Atlantic.
That's
All the way at the
cool.
end of Atlantic, Jackson Beach, and it's a Sunday.
I feel
It's
like
jumping.
vacation
That's
is
when all the
separated.
black people go on Sunday. And you and your girl walk on the beach. You got your chest out. She got her chest out, got her cheeks out. Are you gonna want her to put on a granny bathing suit, or if she come to you and say, "Babe, look, babe, what do you think about this bathing suit?"
Hey, look.
I'm
First
gonna tell
off,
you like,
one
go ahead.
if my chest is looking like Steve's over there,
Oh man, pause, man. Pause, man.
I'm secure.
Hey,
It's talking about Black
I know what I
Fabio over
got. I know
here.
what kind of woman I got. So if she wants to look sexy, I'm gonna promote her. I'm gonna make sure she's sexy.
I want to say something for the
That's
women
me. I
callers
can't
because they
speak for
said
nobody
that
else. But that's the kind of man I am.
you guys said that women dress sexy for themselves. I think that's
Now,
cap.
however,
No,
the
no.
I
difference
think that's
between
cap.
respect and disrespect.
I think
I
they
do too.
dress sexy for
But it's
attention.
different. But to
I
me,
disagree with
again,
that,
as
Steve.
long as she
I
ain't out here
disagree with that, Steve.
butt ass naked, I don't know. Am I allowed to cuss on here? But as long as she ain't butt ass naked, we
So
good.
so hold it. I wanna switch back over to what Steve just said, because I feel like Steve mentioned a really good point. He said it's cap that women dress just for them.
Cap.
He say it's cap. I know one
Cap.
thing. Hey, I know one thing. When I go home and I put that shit on for real, I'm putting that shit on for me, not nobody else. So I beg to differ with you on that, Steve, because it is some women that is confident enough that can look in the mirror and say, "I look sexy."
That's the minority, but the majority.
Oh no,
man, they do it for likes, they do it for attention, they do it to get in section, they do it for free interest in a club. You don't see no women going into the club getting in free in a jogging suit.
How old are
you? You can look sexy in the jogging suit, but the women who get in the clubs for free and get in section,
how
they got
old are
their
you,
heels,
Steve?
they strapped, they got their yams out, they got their
argue
girdles
that.
out. They looking sexy. They do that for benefits, man. If a woman can really get in the club in a jogging suit, they will wear jogging suits. You can't get in the club for free and get sections to get with niggas like Future and jogging suits.
Bullshit. Yeah,
You
why
gotta
can't
look
you?
sexy.
Why can't you?
Because man, they not going for that.
My cousin Tiffany Bennett, she owned Muse.
Minority, not you got to look at majority, not minority though. Majority of women dress sexy for outside attention and validation, man.
Not in 2024. I don't believe that.
Definitely.
Not, maybe some years back.
You know why? You know why I say it's true?
Could it be for though? Like,
if a woman posts a picture on social media now and get no likes, or she goes out and dress sexy and get no attention, what does she think? Something wrong with her. She needs that validation. Someone has to tell her she looks good.
That's a weak woman then.
That's the majority of women.
That's a weak woman then. Hey, OJ, what's up, baby? Tap in, man. Wolverine chair.
I'm let y'all niggas go, bro. I'm just let y'all niggas go, bro. I'm just watching and speculating. But nah, man. So we talking about Sierra and shit, right?
Yeah, go ahead, share out, man.
All right, cool. So I don't know, like you gotta think about it, right? So we got hoes raising the hoes now, right? So the good
Whoa,
old
tap in.
grandmama
I see
days,
you.
you know what I'm saying?
Kick the door off the hands. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay. Talk
I mean,
to him.
that's the truth, right? And on top of that, you know, I feel like in some cases women they like to live in this fantasy world. Like they see Instagram and they think that that's what it's supposed to be, right? And that's what all men like, right? Yeah, it's true. The average man do like a chick who's a little sexy, who's a little slutty looking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we gonna look regardless. That's what's up. But at the same time, it's the attention that they're getting from it, bro. Like they love that attention, bro. I swear to God, like I feel like if a woman don't have that attention, bro, like they'll be depressed as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So
Validation.
we 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 gotta stop that shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, and the sad part about it, motherfuckers don't want to wife that. They don't want to wife that. Like we just smash them and dash them. You know
Oh,
what I'm
look,
saying? And
Keisha
it
Loud,
is
she
what it
got something to
is.
say. She just waiting to
Hey,
chime
Devin, I see you over there itching. Share out, Devin.
No, like the audacity. I think it really depends on the type of woman you're dealing with. Because let me tell you right now, I will show up to the bar in a cocktail dress. I'll show up in sweats. It's what makes me feel good, what I'm comfortable in at the moment, where I'm at. And truthfully, I can't stand when men give me a compliment. Like, don't do it. I'm not asking for it. I don't need you to validate me. Like, why do you feel like you need
That's cap.
to say something to acknowledge me? I'm out here doing me in my own space. Please don't enter it.
Hey, I love it,
Mm-mm.
Devin. I love it. Keish, Ryan,
Should have stayed at home.
tap in.
Come on, man.
Oh, she popped off. All right, we lost Keish and
What's
Ryan.
up, Derek?
So,
Chime in.
go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I'm saying, man, come on, let's just be honest, man. Everybody loves validation, men and women. We do half of the stuff we do for validation. I'm not saying you don't have to have self-confidence, but I'm telling you, anybody who posts something on Instagram is not just doing it just because they put it out there. They want likes. If you post a picture on Facebook or Instagram and you don't get any likes, you're going to think something's wrong. When you get likes, it's immediate endorphin. It's a release, a chemical release in your brain when you get that. Same thing when you go out in public. They might say they hate getting approached, but they'd rather have that than not get approached by anybody. They done took all this time out to get their hairs done, their nails done, they dress from Fashion Nova, they lashes, they lace front, they looking good. You telling me they perfectly fine going out to the club, spending all this money, and not one dude approach them and I had a good night. Stop the cat. You did
Hell
not have a
no.
good night.
That's cap.
Hey, I got. What then? I got. What then? Guess I'm
That's
telling
cap.
you, I'm playing devil's advocate today. So, fellas, you send a pic, bang, you send mini me to that lady, and everybody else should have sent it to. They sending you back hearts and oh man, that motherfucker's amazing. And then that one chick be like, oh okay. So who? So, are you gonna take that? Are you gonna take offense to that?
Not if I usually get the attention I want, then no, one person is not gonna, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm not getting attention and I'm doing it for that reason, yeah, I'm gonna take offense. If I put a picture up on social media and I got the oiled up and all that and I don't get no likes, somebody be like, damn, what
Yeah.
I go hard to the gyms.
Hey, listen.
That's the truth.
Hey, water be glistening all over your body.
Man.
Hey, listen.
I believe that it's
See,
people's
So
I
here's the
may not
thing,
be
opinions
the
like
person
and
for this
watching.
conversation
No, yeah, you
because if you
are.
go to my social media, you don't see, I don't do selfies. I don't post pics of me before I go out. If you go to my Instagram, you're going to see pictures of our travels and what we're doing activities. Like there's rarely pictures of me anywhere
You but
I
I
was
on
like,
noticed.
social
maybe on
media
social
with
media,
people because
but
that's
you
just
know,
not the person I am. I want to have the memory of what I experienced, not the memory of what I look like. So I think it just
but,
depends on the person you're dealing with.
Dope, dope.
but you do
Hey,
know
hey,
there are women that are like what we're talking about, though, right?
The majority
Absolutely.
of women are like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
all right. Hey, Rye.
I'm not going to argue
Hey,
that.
Stepped away
Rye.
for a
Thank.
Right.
second.
Hold on. Rye stepped away.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them get
Oh,
just
that's
respect
Ryan.
though too.
Okay, that's Ryan. All right, cool. So, OJ, tap back in with us, man. Come on, cause hey,
What up?
you sparked this one. So, man, what's your final thoughts on the ladies' viewpoint?
All right, cool. So earlier I was on Instagram, right? And there was this white chick. Apparently she's in Japan right now. And when she wore, the so-called attire that women wear here in America to the gym, they looked at her with the grace, you know what I'm saying? Like with disgrace, I meant. And they like, damn, like
Hmm.
cover that shit up. So now she has to go to the gym, like, completely covered up for the most part just to get respect there. You know what I mean? So at the same time, it could be culture, but at the same time, man, like we live in a world where everything's is like it's just overly sexualized. You know what I'm saying? Like if it ain't about some
Agreed.
cheeks, bro, you're not on Instagram for the most part. You know what I mean? I think the average male at least follow about 10 pair of cheeks minimum, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like, so like, it is what it is. I mean, sex has been selling for the
Man, them
longest.
up.
You get what I'm saying? Like even
Right.
back in the day where you had to go to like the back section of the video store to get that special video. You know what I mean? Like sex been selling, bro. It's
Blockbuster.
just that it's just so damn public now, man. So like, I don't know, bro. Like I don't know. In my opinion, it's simps in my opinion, bro, because it's the simps that's really geeking these women up to be like this, bro. You get what I mean?
Say
So if we can just
Sims.
if we kill simp culture and shit, I feel like it'll kill a lot of it because there'll be no one to like pedalize, like shit, to put this one on the pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, who, why the fuck? Y'all get what I'm talking about, bro. So,
Hold on, OJ. Hold on, OJ. Keish.
Yeah.
I'm reading your
Yeah.
face right now, and I feel like you're ready to let it go. Talk to us.
I'm just listening.
What's your thoughts,
I
man?
tapped out a little bit, so I missed a chunk of it. But where I left off at is that we dress sexy for men.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
that's not,
Thank you, Keish.
no, I don't agree with that.
No, she doesn't agree with that. Come on, talk to us
Not,
then. Cause hey.
I'm gonna say it's like a 50-50 thing. Like some people, yeah, of course some people are gonna get dressed and say, hey, how much attention can I get? Whatever. Like, yeah, some people do dress for attention from others, but it takes a confident woman. Like, I'm always about the confident woman who knows who she is. So a lot of y'all, so women do know that men, they looking for the girl with the yams out and they got their cakes out and their ass is showing. So they go for that because they want that attention. They do need the validation, but that's an insecure woman. Just like it's an insecure man who's wearing a great, doing the thirst traps with the gray sweatpants all on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Like,
Well,
come on, everybody know what the gray
hey.
sweatpants is about.
Gray,
So you
black,
mean if
green,
you
or
woke
blue?
up
We
and you
trapping,
found the
huh?
the tightest joggers you could find and you took a picture today with your chest out and it just happened to be oily and you holding on to the top of the door frame? Get out of
Come
here.
on, Steve.
You
Come
did
on,
that on
Steve.
purpose. It's a
Come on,
thirst trap.
Steve.
You
No
wanted
comment on that.
likes. You and then you
Steve.
posted it to some sexy music and it had low
Steve wrote
likes.
his.
Get out of here, man. You wanted attention just like females. So it goes both ways.
I agree, and I said that like everybody wants attention. Like I think we're all narcissists in a certain way. We all want attention. We all want a validation. I think we all do. It's a human thing to
But
want
not everybody want it from everyone.
I like
Right.
that.
And not everyone
exactly
need it. And
that
like
part, that
I
part.
say all the time, you want the attention. Everybody wants the attention of validation. You want to hear that you're nice looking, that you're attractive, that you're dope. You want to hear that, but do you need
From
it?
the
Does it
right
fuel your
person.
fire to be who you are? Like it
well,
doesn't. I don't need that to fuel my. I know I'm dope as hell. Like I go out the house. I know that whatever I choose to put on, I'm gonna look good in it. And it's not because I'm stuck up. It's not because um It's because I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table.
I like it,
But I
Ryan.
don't need that. Does it feel good to hear a man tell me? Of course it does. Like, you look good. Thank you. Like, it feels great. Like, you're validating what I feel. I don't need you to validate me. So
Amen to that. Amen. Ryan, hold on, Keish. Ryan, you sitting there, your mind, I see it, it's going. Tap in with us. What you thinking? Keish, can we get Ryan on your feed?
Ryan is right here. She's right. Come on and stop. I don't even know what y'all talking about. Well, Ryan said that.
She like, I'm just watching.
Well, I was gonna add that, when you talk about what sensualism is, like sensual is like the senses. So it's every sense: taste, smell, touch, sight, hearing. So like we lead with sight first. Unless you blind and you do the Ray Charles feeling the wrist thing, then you go initially be attracted. And people ain't wearing shit on their chest saying like, I'm this type of person, these are my principles of value. So that's where the sweatpants ain't sweatpants, then people normally ain't gonna get attracted. Like nobody wants to be somebody that they're not physically attracted to.
That's it,
The
man.
problem is some of us only stop at that. We think physical attraction is enough to carry us through a sustainable relationship. And the reality of the matter is people can look good and have substance. So I was going to posit, like, what if that person had substance? And they got on the sweatpants, they're like, I know my shit crazy, and I know behind this motherfucker, I'm a quality person. So like necessarily like
Where I get that picture of Steve? What the fuck?
Hey, look at Steve, man.
Hey, oh,
Steve.
that was
Wait,
years
why is
ago,
that
man.
on my phone?
But you doing the same thing. You thirst trapping.
Hey, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna stand on it for me. I think that thirst trapping shit is for sense. Because a confident man, no matter what you do, you gonna put that shit on, and I'm putting this shit on because this is what I want to put on for the day. Hey, I big Steve up. Steve came in with the what was it? The Indian, the Apache sweater last week. Had on the, hey, I'll take those in the small jeans. Had the Jodeci boots on. You got that butter love, baby. You got them. Hey, he was on the Spike Lee circle glasses. Hey, but he was fresh as fuck though. And as a man, I was able to comment. Hey, bro, hey, that's a good look right there. He had his whole kit on. But did you put it on for some? Because when the women here, it was all guys. You put it on because that's what you wanted to put it on.
I wanted to look good in front of the camera.
But God damn it.
Something though, when y'all approach a female though, according to what she dressed, does that change up how y'all gonna approach her?
No.
So if she's more conservative,
Yes.
you're different than if she got that tight, fast,
No, I'm not.
Absolutely.
No.
See?
The secret sexy librarian type.
Yes, me too.
But
Me too.
I mean, I'm saying, do you give more respect to the more?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm older though. I don't, because one thing I was taught is you approach a woman, period, in a certain kind of way.
You gonna respect her.
I'm saying I wouldn't even approach the chick that.
But based off, okay, so ask the question again so I can make sure.
So if you got two women in the club that you're looking at, one is more.
Okay.
Jazz, welcome back. Welcome back, Jazz. Welcome back. Throw the peace sign up.
What energy are you putting out?
If you fully tapped in with me, throw the peace sign up. You muted yourself.
I'm not gonna throw the peace sign up. It depends on what you say next.
No. We was just saying, hey, girl. Hey.
Oh, hey.
All right, there you go. All right, go ahead, Steve.
Asking you in the lounge.
Yeah.
You feeling good. You got two girls you're looking at. One of them is dressed like Cardi B, sexy red, Megan Thee Stallion. She got her stuff all out. The ass is ass and the titties is titty. You got that. The other one over here is more conservative. She looks sexy, but it's just more dressed down. She's more leaving something to the imagination. She don't have everything out. So you're going to look at them and give them the same amount of respect. You're going to respect them when you talk to them. You're not going to call them out their name, but you're not going to have any judgment or discernment between the two?
No. I'm going to tell you why. You just said the one that got her shit out, Cardi B. Cardi B marked up like a Subway in Harlem. Now, what if it's a chick that is really into tattoos? So I'm wearing this because I love the tattoos that I have.
But the ass, but the pants is tight. The titties is like, do she need to have all that out? Does the pants need to be that tight?
Let me ask you this: do she got a muffin top? No.
She look.
Thank you. No,
it's just
so that
revealing, though.
no, exactly. But in 2024, women is hitting the gym 15 times harder than men. When you go to the gym, Steve, you know you see way more women than you see guys in there. Right or wrong, Steve?
That's facts, but that don't mean anything to show them. So says the man.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Because the men are gonna judge you. Says us. We're gonna judge you.
I wouldn't judge her. I'm just saying that if I was gonna approach one, I wouldn't approach a chick with everything hanging out because I'm like, I don't want the energy that I assume comes with it. I wouldn't knock her, but I've always appreciated the chick dress conservative. I've always been like that. One is the secret. She's like Barry.
Women judge us too.
Yeah, I'm definitely judging.
Hey, Drew.
I respect it.
Hey, Drew.
I just won't approach.
So the drop top Camaro or the hard top Camaro? If I'm in the drop top Camaro, I'm gonna get way more attention, right or wrong. Right. Why? Because I can see who it is. I can see what's going on. So therefore, did you see you see Key come through in that drop top versus you see Chris come through in that new Mustang?
Wait, I have a drop top Camaro, so go ahead.
So my point is, hey, when you drop your top, you got your shades on.
Yeah.
You look at as a gentleman. I'm handsome and damn. I'm not gonna look like shit with my top drop. I'm normally fly, ain't I?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I got my top drop, and I want you to what? See me. So I say that. Go ahead, Drew.
Sometimes it's hot too, though.
What about like when we talk about conservative women, and we think about like Muslim women who will wear the entire outfit and look so beautiful, and you could tell their figure from what they have on, but I think that I agree with what Kamo was saying, that what women who have to dress that way to attract that energy, if you naturally beautiful, you don't have to do that. Because I feel like that I don't want to compete with every dude on that. I can see if you look beautiful no matter what you have on. You could wear a normal outfit or something sexy, but I feel like if you're wearing something sexy and it's not respectful, just like Kamo just said, I don't want to deal with that energy. I feel like that you're putting out something that I know that can become a problem, because we're gonna have conversations and say, hey, don't put that shit on, don't wear that, don't do that. I don't want to have the conversations because I go get a woman who look just as good and it could be covered up, and I know what she doing, and I'm being respected. Now everybody's barometer is different from my barometer. I can't deal with that shit.
Question. Go ahead. Speak on.
Get Devin and Jazz. Jazz have a question.
Okay, but how often do you think those women that are fully covered get approached by men? Because one thing I noted was I used to have a
None, because
job where
I'm
I
one of
stayed in
them women.
court, and I would have to wear, suits and all these things. And all the feedback I got was, I was so intimidated when I met you. They don't approach them. But it's so easy to approach somebody who looks like they self-esteem may be low, or they trying to get the attention, or they're wanting or begging the attention. They get approached left and right. So it's like, if you want the narrative, then change the narrative.
I'll say this, like going off what you were saying, if you had on the Hillary Clinton pantsuit and you wasn't getting approached like that, I'll say this: you can still look pretty covered up. You don't have to be that's like the extreme. You don't have to have a job. You can still be more conservative, be pretty, but what's gonna really speak value as far as me keeping you is your femininity. And that's not outside appearance, that's inside. That's how you treat me. That's really gonna make me keep you and want to be a kept woman. Now, just hitting you, yeah. It's just you look good. You got on the Fashion Nova stuff. Yeah, I'll hit you and keep it.
Good sir. Okay, it's just time for me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jazz. Go ahead, Jazz.
Go ahead.
Because you've been talking a lot and it has nothing to do. Number one, how did a conversation about toxic masculinity turn into what women do and how women are? Number one, you can't tell me what feminine is because your only lived experiences in masculinity. You can tell me what you prefer, but you can't tell me who I can be. I am absolutely one of those women, because of my comfort level, that I prefer, because of my lived experience and what I have been through and my body type, with me being very curvy, I cover up most of the time. I'm always one of those people, because I respect myself, know myself, don't need no value, don't really care, don't really get compliments. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm smart. I know I'm intelligent. I know what I am. I know who I am. I'm not approached. So when we are talking about this, let's talk about the crux and the truth of the conversation. Number one, respectfully, why are we having a conversation about what women are doing and we're talking about what toxic masculinity is or is not? That's number one. So can we get back to the actual heart of the conversation, right? Because what we do and what we have been doing is try to tell women how to act. But I have not heard since I've been in here, not one rhetoric around what the sociological impacts about what makes toxic masculinity toxic and the impact that it has upon Black men. So respectfully, if we can stop dragging what femininity is and what masculinity and what Blackness is and what you prefer, good sir, that's your preference. Have a preference. That's beautiful. I got a preference too. But the preference has nothing to do. The preference has nothing to do, and that's why I logged out the first time. The preference has nothing to do, A, with the crux of the conversation and with people systematically policing women about what is respectable and what is not respectable. Multiple times, Devin has come on here and said that she is not a woman who seeks attention. And the conversation still looped into what women could do to make men show up better for them. You just literally said Meg Thee Stallion and everything else, but nobody talked about how the fact is that you can just go up to a woman because she's a human and just say hi. But you
No,
had to
that's
degrade her. I'm not done talking. Thank you.
oh,
Hard kept
So
you
you
said.
had to come and classify her, right, based upon what you thought her value was, based upon what she had on her body. That is a personal problem and a personal preference. That has nothing to do with her humanity. That has everything to do with how you decided to treat her and the value of what you thought that she brought to the table as a human being. That is fundamentally a character flaw within the person who is making the judgment, not the person who is being judged. So if we can respectfully pivot the conversation off of what women should be doing to be respectable and actually talk about the crux and the tenets of toxic masculinity and the impact that it has on Black women, that would be awesome. Or
well, we
Black
did.
men.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on. Jazz, first and foremost, kudos. I'm gonna speak for the male group. I respect everything you just said. To bring it back full circle, I think what you said was spot on and is right. So I'm gonna open up the floor for Steve to go ahead and say his piece, but then we're gonna swing it back to toxic masculinity
Absolutely.
versus healthy masculinity because we went down a rabbit hole and we got caught and we got stuck there.
That's true.
So
I'll
let's
keep
do
it
it,
quick,
Steve.
and I'll speak on this. When we first started, it was about toxic masculinity, but sometimes in these podcasts, we're veer off. People get to chiming in, and sometimes we do go off subject, but it's all cool. But I respect your opinion, and we can get right back on men because, like I said, we're talking about toxic and positive masculinity. But when I was talking about Meg Thee Stallion, I was just being realistic, and I don't know if my fellas can agree or not, but just the real of it. When we see two women and one of them is more conservative and one of them is more just out there, judgment is gonna get passed, and that's just the real. Like you might not think it's not fair, but it is what it is. That's how men think, and that's not gonna change. So we're saying it's a different level of respect. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think so much that we got off topic. The topic was, I think that she's just saying that it's toxic masculinity because that's how it started. Was like, is it toxic or not to allow your woman to dress a certain way and stuff?
Is that toxic?
That's how we got there. Yeah.
But can we point out, you just said that's the way
Is it
men
toxic to
think,
do that?
but your thoughts have been pushed as our intentions. You think we want this attention. You think we want this. You think this is our purpose, but and we're telling you it's not, and you still arguing with us. That's
Oh,
toxic.
let me ask you a question real quick. If I'm wrong, if you want to go out and you want to dress, but you want to wear something real tight, revealing your assets, if I'm wrong, it's not for male attention, then what is it for? It's for what now?
I just told you it's for me to make me feel good because I know I look good.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
Sometimes I
Devin.
need to show off what I have.
Hold it.
For me.
Hold on. Time out.
For me.
Fellas. The one thing I want us to do is remain open-minded and make sure that we're not being objective to how we personally feel. Because the purpose of the podcast is for us to have a open-minded dialect. So in that, Jazz, again, thank you for refocusing the group. Toxic masculinity refers to the notion that some people's ideal of manliness can perpetuate domination. So in us telling our women to go back take your ass back upstairs and do XYZ, that is a form of domination.
But it says some people.
Okay, you're right. But when we're just looking at toxic masculinity in its essence, the words domination, the words homophilia, and the words aggression are a part of this. So in that, this now becomes objective to the woman that we're dealing with. Because if she feels as though I'm being dominant and I'm trying to dominate her, I'm showing a characteristic of toxic behavior.
So it's all objective.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's all objective.
It is. Now, when we come over here to healthy masculinity, it involves a daily practice of engaging in a process of intentional self-growth and commitment to change. So, healthy masculinity is open to both male and female because our objective is to be intentional in the way that we grow with each other and for us to work together and commit to a change that betters the both of us, that works for the both of us. So in a sense, it doesn't matter how subjective it is to someone. I think we can all stand in the touch and agree and say we need to be in a mind state of healthy masculinity because we need to be intentional in how we grow in our commitment to change with each other.
And that's all I was gonna say is like really it comes down to us focusing inwardly. Because ultimately, whatever position we have as man, like if that's what our position is collectively, then that's what it is. And out of that, we will choose to be with the women that we feel, align with those ideals. And it's not about telling any other woman she's right or wrong with her reality. Some men are going to be attracted to that. That's really what it comes down to. It's like in certain brothers, it's like, I love that energy. I want that energy. I want everything that comes with it. I want you to go out and have everything hanging out when we go out. I know brothers like that. And they're not going to get you. As long as nobody disrespect their girl, dude can even compliment their girl. Like, yeah, she look good, don't she? Yeah, I love hitting that shit. Like, it's cats who are like that. Where it's like like a Kevin Gates type of cat. He's but he would love that. But I'm like, it comes down to the subjectivity and really saying, okay, that's what you like, that's how you live, that's cool, and that's really the human experience. None of us are alike. No, we may have common approaches and common ideals, but ultimately, I'm like, sisters are still human beings that
they have a voice.
They have a voice that they want to live the way they want to live. And I'm like, we cannot say you need to be this way. It's like, this is what I'm into. So if you're wondering why I never approached you, it's because it is. If it's ever a question. But if not, it's like you living doing things in a big world.
And that's why I said I'm going to play devil's advocate because we cannot solely operate on our own notion.
Absolutely.
Because now we devalue and we take away.
That's what I said about the dominant submissive.
Yeah.
The dominant has to be like, okay, what are your boundaries? Yeah. What is your safe word? What is your likes? What's your dislikes? And
love language.
I'm
love language. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it'll go back to what I first said. Then if you were at the definition of toxic masculinity and it talked about those traits, and if those are subjective, depending on the person, would it be better if we just throw that toxic masculinity definition out and just call them bad character traits? Because someone can display something and it can be toxic masculinity to this person, but another person over here can display the same thing and they see it as just being a leader or something else. So is it fair to just say, let's just quit with the toxic masculinity or femininity and just say these just are bad character traits that we don't like? We don't like when a man does this. We just don't like it. Like, I'm not saying you're not mad or toxic. I'm just saying I don't like these traits that you had. Same with a woman. Like, if you do this and do that, I just don't like those traits. And just keep it at that. And just keep femininity, masculinity. That's it.
I like that.
Just bad character traits.
So in that, I receive what you said. However, we're not going to undo what's been done from generations in times of old. There's been a switch of role. There was always a feminine role and there was a masculine role. We're not going to get away from the real issue. The real issue is the masculine role stopped being masculine. I see you, Chris. Come on, tap in with me.
All right, well, I'm going to say this. Yes, it is objective, right? Each couple, what they're comfortable with. And I would say that we lived in a matriarch. We lived in a patriarch for a long time. I believe personally we live in more of a matriarch because I believe that all the judicial systems and the media is feminine, but at least majority feminine, is the prevailing opinion. But then I would also, I wanted to play devil's advocate to his thing, and hopefully this kind of ties in and say that, okay, so I'm classy, I have morals, I'm a man of God, so there's certain things that I'm not gonna deal. My wife isn't gonna wear those things if she wants to be my wife. If she doesn't want to be my wife, and she wants to wear panties and bra out all the time, then fine, right? I get that. However, we also got to ask ourselves, at what point does that affect our children? What point does that affect the society negatively? If like too much sexuality is, like at what point do our men the pillars and say, hey, we don't want our women as black men or Americans or however, like where's the line there?
Objectify themselves.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think it comes down to personally, like this has been saying, like it's up to men to upgrade their inability to restrain themselves when they see it's just this natural courage, because ultimately breasts ain't for us to play with there to feed our children. Like it's not for our pleasure. So if a woman's breastfeeding out in public and people are like, that's disgusting, you wouldn't say that when you see a baby calf suckling a baby cow. So it's like, it's no different. Breasts aren't here for our enjoyment. Same with sex. Sex isn't here for our enjoyment. The shit feels good, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be inclined to do it, and our species would die out. So it's first about procreation. Busting nuts ain't about busting nuts for the sake of feeling good. It's like it's meant to procreate first. The feeling good thing is just an incentive for us to do it. We don't do anything without that reward consequence system as human beings. Same with eating. If eating didn't feel good, we wouldn't be inclined to eat. Like when our stomach's hurt and we eat, our stomach stops hurting, we're gonna always try to seek out food when our stomach hurts. Like it's the same with sexual inclinations. So it's like it's still up for us as men to restrain ourselves and be like, a sis can be out in that, and that doesn't necessarily say that her character is any type of way, because I definitely have known some women who are in that world of like, showing their bodies, being comfortable with it, and they're human beings who have depth and wishes and dreams just like any other human being. So it's like I don't necessarily knock it, because I understand prostitution was the first. They say it was the first occupation. So it's like this has always been around, and things have always been put in context where kids understood it. It's just now recently with social media that things have exploded as far as access.
Yes.
And as parents, it's up for us to police that. It's up for the women to choose better men and say, I'm not going to sleep with men that are like this, if that's not the type of man I want. And it's up for men to do the same thing. You can't have double standard and say, I'm going to live this way as a man because I can control it, but y'all women can't do that, because men live in a bunch of double standards just like sisters are.
Well, the
Right,
world is
right.
a bunch of double standards.
It is. So, hey, real quick, I want to tap in with our callers. I want to start with Miss Jasmine, because I definitely appreciate you circling the block and getting the conversation refocused. So, Jasmine, I want to just kind of end with you all's closing comments.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I didn't. I was gonna tell you to go ahead and go.
Thank you. Closing comments is that I think Black men should investigate toxic masculinity more, because they would understand that out of all men in this society, they were the men who were told they were not allowed to feel, they were not allowed to be, they were not allowed to be complex, they were not allowed to be nuanced, that they had to give into black and white thinking. And so when you understand the context of that, it absolutely impacts the interpersonal relationships that you have with your loved ones. And so I heard a quote the other day that everybody knows. It's the African proverb that if a child will burn down a village in order to feel its warmth. And I think that's perpetually the story of when Black men give into patriarchy or toxic masculinity, right? Is us burning down our own village to feel the warmth, because they weren't allowed to be nuanced individuals out of all men in this society, while literally carrying the brunt, the economic brunt, of other things that they were not allowed to fiscally, economically, psychologically participate in, right? Throughout the history of that absolutely impacts why Black men want their women to be so conservative. So I think we have to understand that, because if Black men understood how they were devoid of their humanity, it would contextualize and color this conversation so much more about why Black women and black children are often devoid of their humanity too. And I think we need to investigate that more. And I always talk about the fact that patriarchy doesn't look good on black men because it was not designed for it to look good in black men because of how the society is structured. It's a race-based caste hierarchy system in the first place, which means that a black man is always a step away from having the most power. Like white men, right? But it's actually two steps away when you understand that sexism doesn't work for black men too. Like the Django Mandingo kind of thing is sexism. It's sexism existing in a nuanced society in which enslavement existed in which there were men and women, black men and black women were basically used as mules, right? Because we do know that there were breeding farms and different things that existed. So I think in order for us to investigate toxic masculinity more, we need to investigate why this don't work for us, because it's not our system that we're upholding and perpetuating. So I would implore black men to look at, what does masculinity look like for you? What does it look like through a non-Western stereotype? Because it's a lot more to masculinity than what is taught to us in our dysfunctional society. And that's how I am.
Right. Listen, we definitely appreciate your insight. The one thing that I hate is you were not on at the top of the podcast, because we really unpacked a lot of the points that you made. But thank you for joining us this evening, because you provided some really great conversation and context. So thank you. Clap it up for our fellas. Clap it up for us. Thanks, Jazz. Um,
OJ.
OJ. I'll go Wolverine chair, size 14, Jordan 1. OJ, let's do it. Give us your closing give us your closing arguments. And Devin, we're coming to you. Wrap us up. Go ahead, OJ.
I appreciate it, coach. So it's about toxic masculinity. Man, I don't know. I mean, Jasmine, she broke it down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. But when it comes to my opinion, this really wasn't a thing till like a few years ago. Like when Trump got in, that's when it like went through the roof that toxic masculinity is a thing. And that shit goofy as hell, right? Because think about this. If it wasn't for men being men, this damn country would have never been built. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like you need masculine energy just to keep this damn society spinning, to keep this world turning, bro. You know what I mean? So this toxic shit, I have no idea where it came from and why they try to tailor it to men or just black man, whatever the case be. I don't know. The alphabet community, they're definitely on our necks heavy right now. You know what I mean? So maybe unless they created that shit to try to downplay us and make us softer, you know what I'm saying? So that when the final takeover, possibly comes, you got a whole bunch of soft ass niggas that ain't gonna do shit but just let, the regime take over. If you just look at any type of I guess like society or civilization back in the past, they failed when everyone stopped being a man and stopped really handling business in society. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's dumb as fuck, bro. I feel like the rainbow community made that shit up. I don't know. Maybe the Trump haters created that term, but bro, we we need men. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate your opinion, OJ, and your viewpoints and where you coming from. Um, I think just the word toxic, I don't want us to get so wrapped up in that one word, because masculinity still is a certain way that a boy and or man should carry themselves based on societal norms. Now that's up for debate, but we're not gonna go there. But I think that word toxic, does throw a wrench, throw a monkey wrench in the game.
Yep.
And that does make for great conversation. But again, I thank you for your opinion and your input this evening. Devin,
No
wrap us
doubt.
up.
I think it switches to toxic when what you like and what you want don't quite align. When you talk to people and talk about what beautiful and sexy women and things like that, the women that are more revealing is what come to mind first. When you think about women you respect, your mother is one of the first people to come to your mind, not them. And it's like, How do I act and bridge that gap between what you like and what you want? You know, if you're looking over here and this is catching your eye, then why would I not try that? You know, it's just like there's so many double standards. Like once I become your woman, then I need to meet all these qualifications, but you got me on these qualifications. That's what caught your eye. And I just think like just really trying to bridge together what you like and what you want and focusing on that, it would cut out a lot of the toxicity.
Okay, I like that. I like
Hey,
your point of view. Appreciate that.
Devin, again, hey, I'm glad
Yes.
I was able to get you on this podcast. I hope to get you and Miss Jasmine on some more because I really love the substance that you provided. You both provided as black women on this podcast. Thank you. Again, guys, let's give it up for our ladies this evening, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's give it up for our ladies. They definitely held it down.
Beautiful.
Keish,
Yes,
Keish,
sir.
Ryan, if you all are out there and you still can hear us, salute. We appreciate you. Listen, this Coach D signing off. Education is my superpower. I'm going to turn it on over to Steve. I appreciate y'all for joining us this evening.
For sure. Appreciate y'all. I think knowing that everybody has a different perspective is key. Learning from each other. I know everybody don't think like me. I have my perspective based on my life experiences and everybody else too. So just coming together so we can have a positive conversation. That's what it's all about. Because we need to be together more than we need to be apart. So it's your boy, Real Estate Steve. Tap in with me for all your real estate needs. I'm gonna turn it over to my boy right here.
Man, I like that. I like that. If I, can I put my closing comment on this? And I would say that every man needs to define what masculinity is for himself. It is objective in that sense. But for me personally, I would say being man enough to be able to protect your family, be a leader for your family, be humble enough to humble yourself before God and follow the divine order, and be man enough to be free, to be your own man. And that's got to be some type of righteous man. And this is Swab Soul sounding out.
Yeah, okay, we'll check it in. My opinion is that, we as men have to take back our communities from men who are in fact toxic, because there are toxic men in our community. And unfortunately, it's the thing that gets the most notoriety, it gets the most press. This is what white people love. They love to see us wilding out, bucking and jumping, running into each other, dribbling a basketball. Like, they love us in those contexts. Anytime any of those brothers have any type of, knowledge of self and, actual well-formed opinion of their existence in the world, they're shut down. They're told, just shut up and run, shut up and play, and so I think it is up to us. It's not an individual thing. The problem that we have in society right now is the men that are in this context. It's like Dr. Umar said at one point, in this a podcast where he was going on, brothers, like, it's our fault that anything that's going on in our community is going on. It's the man's fault. Literally, because if we were all the way in our righteous, capacity, this wouldn't be, none of this would be happening. It couldn't happen. We wouldn't let anybody insert these things into our society. Saying, like we was talking about, people making these editorial cartoons or comments about Prophet Muhammad. They gonna ride. We don't have that same type of fire. So I would argue that most of us are in fact soft. Even if we had killed for our girl, we are in fact soft because we're not calling out our brothers and be like, nah, bro, that shit is whack. I'm not even supporting that shit. I'm not resharing that music. I'm not supporting that brother and his message because I know I don't want my kids listening to that shit. Because I don't want my girl twerking her ass to that shit. Like, it's up to us as men to draw that line, because there used to be rites and passages where men came together and set a standard for boys to become men. You weren't just a man because you turned 18. You were an adult male, but that doesn't mean you're a man. You can't do certain things, as an adult male and not being a man if society is running the way it's supposed to. So brothers got to step in and take back control of not our women, of ourselves and one another, and hold each other accountable. You can find me at Kmo on Instagram at kmo.omek, my first name reversed, OMEK, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that. So appreciate it.
All right. Hey, listen, y'all. We overly appreciate you all joining us this evening on the True Leon Army Podcast. This is Coach D, Real Estate Steve. Give it to me one more time.
Swab Soul.
Give it one more time. Hey, as a unity and as a group of young men trying to be the best examples we can be for our families and be the best examples we can be in our communities. We thank you for joining us. We're signing off. See you later.